And we're live. Da, 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 da. Welcome everybody to the weekly Alaboom, July 19th, 2023. Hello, Barry.
Hello, Lance.
How was your last week?
Okay. Found out some interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, you're not Irish?
Oh no, I'm Irish. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, I was
Not 100%. I mean, I'm
because that would have been interesting, if you had found out, hey, I'm not Irish. After
I'm
all
not
those
100%. I knew that from I'm about half and half Irish, Scott Irish. Yeah, there's a little English in there too. But that's kind of natural for Irish people. But no, I found out the Navy maintains a forest in Indianapolis, Indiana rather. Guess how for wooden boats? Guess how many boats this forest is maintained for?
3.
One. The U.S. Constitution.
Must be a real nice boat.
It's the I believe it's
Yeah,
the
I know what it is.
I believe it's the first one the Navy. I believe I could be wrong on that.
Pardon me, I gotta sneeze again, probably. Oh, mine almost always come in pairs. But
So
according to my dearly departed grandma, I get a wish now. So I'll wish for something. Hold on. She always said it was 1 for a wish, 2 for a kiss, 3 for disappointment. And every once in a while, I'll sneeze 3 times, and I'm always like, "Oh no, my grandma! She said I'd be disappointed."
Is your grandma real superstitious too? Mine was.
I don't know. I think it was just one of her things, I mean, man, she passed away. Oh man, I'm guessing. Man, when 25 years ago, maybe.
Really?
Maybe a little more. Man, I haven't thought about that in a long time. I mean, I'll always remember when my last grandparent passed away because my daughter had just been born. So my daughter turned 16 on Saturday. So, we're coming up on, about a little over, it'll be about 16 years since, my last grandparent passed away. My wife asked that we were watching some show or whatever, and there was like some guy who, like, it was some reality show, and it was the guy had to like leave the show because he had gotten word that his grandmother was very sick and might not survive much longer, and so he had to quit the show or whatever. And my wife asked me if I would do that, and I said I would. And she said, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I don't know. You got to be able to say goodbye, right? I mean, that's your last chance." So it was one of those things where I was like,
That bothers.
What?
That bothers my wife. She didn't say goodbye to her mother. Her mother died suddenly in her sleep. Yeah, I could see me doing that, quitting the job, doing it. Yeah, Jen for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just starting out morbid with our show.
You did it. I was talking about ships. I don't know how the fuck we got on this.
I apologize. We got all distracted or whatever, but because I sneezed, right?
That's right.
That's the boom, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what path our conversations are going to take us. Blah 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 blah. So anyway. So I've got a story, but I'll wait for Aldi to show up if he's feeling better. I haven't heard from him.
It's been over a week. I'm sure it's out of him by now.
Yeah, but you can feel pretty weak, man.
Yeah, for a while, but I mean the sickness part of it, the sneezing and all that, coughing and shit.
Yeah, I mean it's just
Yeah, I know people took them months to get it over, the fatigue thing. It took months for them to get over that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and for me, it was like one of those things where I remember when I had it, and I had OG COVID, mind you, when it was real, when there wasn't no vaccine, and you know, but when I had, oh, hey Kip, when I had OG COVID, I remember I just felt super tired for like months afterwards, just completely and totally like somebody had I just felt drained. It was one of those things. I was falling asleep at my desk like constantly, like just sitting there. Yeah. But
The people I talk to, the symptoms are very similar for going to detox. It's very similar.
oh yeah.
Yeah, very similar. I don't have, well, not that I know. I don't think I got it. I could have just not been, affected by it. But from talking to people, yeah, they sound very similar.
Well, I mean, thankfully I've never had to go through detox, so
Yeah, I only did it 3 times. It's
yeah,
in a year. Fucking
nice.
doctors. Yeah, fucking doctors.
Yes, Nathaniel Robinson, back when COVID was manly. Yes. No, I mean, it was just, I don't know. I mean, that was, I mean, now, like, I know it's kind of, it's not like completely forgotten or whatever, but I mean, like nobody, it's not in the present, like mindset of anybody really. I mean, obviously people still get it.
Yeah.
They still feel
Cruise
very
ships.
sick. Yeah, I mean, it's so I'm not trying to downplay it at all, but I mean,
It'll be like the flu in another year. Nobody will be talking about it.
well, no, I mean, so I mean, I have to like, and I don't want to go down some weird conspiracy theory route with this, but I do think about this, and I do consider in my brain a little bit, that I think there's a lot of people now that get it that just don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, and there were people that got it that just didn't know before too, right? They were just had no symptoms. They just, they had the thing rolling around in their body and they never got it. I mean, look at my son. My son never tested positive for it. Everybody in the house had it.
Because he's the real man of the family.
Well,
or he's the freak, one or the other.
Yeah, no, I mean, so, and then like when I told that to my doctor, he cracked wise and he said, wow, it's almost like we have these immune systems or something that allow us to fight off infectious diseases, so, but that I mean, it's just one of those things where, and I think now people get it, and then I think it's one of those things where like they just think it's a cold, or they say, oh, I got a sniffle, or I got a little bit of I got a touch of the flu, and they don't bother taking a test. They just say, oh, I'll get over it, and then they do, and they just then have no idea that they've had it and they've gotten over it. And so the weird mindset thing I have is like you said, like you're telling, it's just like the flu or whatever. Well, so my big thing with that is, I think, well, why you go back to all those people, it's like those people that said along those lines of, like, if you watch a TV show, like my wife and I were just watching a show, and it was filmed during the time of COVID, and it was like a reality show. Yeah, and it was filmed during the very beginning of that, and it made me remember, just how much like our lives changed. I mean, like it was like kids never went back to school after spring break. Everybody was at the house. Nobody went out. Nobody did anything. Everybody, and in a lot of ways, we were still. There's still a lot of those things that we're still doing, and they're still like that. But I also think, it's one of those things too, where it's like there was a ton of people that, thankfully I don't I don't know anybody personally that died because of it, but I know a lot of people that were hospitalized. And I'm not talking about friends on Facebook things. I mean, like people I know in real life that I've interacted with, like spouses of friends of mine were like in hospitals for like weeks at a time because like they almost died. Thankfully they didn't. They and it's just like, and so that kind of gives it gravity for me. But I mean, now because of the fact that we're like, when this happens again, and it will happen again, and I'm hopeful. I'm not. I mean, I
You won't
guess.
probably.
Yeah. I mean, I don't look forward to the idea of like one of these things happening again. But I do wonder how many people are going to take the like, oh yeah, we freaked out for like a year and then like everything and nobody cared again and blah 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 and went back to doing that.
That's
I don't
how it
know.
happens throughout history. I mean, this isn't the first pandemic we've had global.
But this is the first one. I mean, this is the first
This is
one in like really recent
modern
where
times.
where the entire world was affected, right? I mean, remember like when there were other pandemics, but remember it was always like, oh, it happened in the Philippines, it happened over there. It didn't find its way to us. And obviously the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever, it found its way to the rest of the world. And I don't know.
Well, we're more globalized now than we were, say, 50 years ago, even. I mean,
Fair enough.
we got planes everywhere. And,
Yeah.
But
I do remember I read and kind of like a weird thing that is that I was reading some article about these outposts, these like little tiny like towns in Alaska that are like way up in the northern reaches of Alaska. And a lot of them are just like they aren't nobody like nobody okay, so like they're not like this one I was reading about was like it's 600 miles from like the nearest like hospital.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go there and like what it is, it's
gotta be
like,
good.
no, it's like a research station and there's a military presence there and it's just like, and it's if you're going there, it's like there's you're not a civilian, so to speak, right? I mean, there's
Right.
families that live there, but that's because like the parents have jobs there because they're part of a research facility or they're like anyway, you get what I'm saying. If you go there, you have to have your appendix removed before you go there because literally
that could kill you.
if your appendix bursts on you, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Because they can't get you to a hospital in time for it to be cured. So I mean that was like I found that really peculiar. And then the reason I went down that rabbit hole is because I was reading about how like nobody in that area ever got COVID because they were just so far removed
isolated
from everybody that it never found a way. So
yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few communities out there like that. A friend of mine, his brother's appendix burst on him and he was overweight, and that's the only thing that saved him, they said, was because it got caught up in his fat system somehow or something. But it happened and he didn't think anything about it until he started to get sick like the next day or something. They said that was the only thing that saved him, was him being a little overweight like that. It's like, wow. My sister had that. She had hers removed. Hers burst. I never had that actually.
No. I had a guy that I played softball with. He took and it could have just, and who knows if it caused it or whatever. But we were playing softball. He was running he was batting, hard ground ball to like third baseman. He's running down the line to first base. Some, giant meathead picks up the ball at third base and wings it as hard, throws it hard to get him out at first. Misses the first baseman and it hits his side perfectly, like bam, the softball hits it. I mean, and it was flung. I mean, it was not, and there was like this big, like, imagine like a fist punching a side of beef. There was like this thwap like noise. And like it was like somebody cut his puppet strings. He was like, ah! He fell to the ground, and he had the imprint on his side where it hit him.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
not fun.
and like 3 days later, he was in the hospital getting his appendix removed.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just probably coincidence.
Yeah,
I mean?
probably.
But to this day, I just remember.
Yeah, that sucks when you get hit by a ball, especially in the back. Yeah, like that. I got hit in the kidneys once with a pop up. Pissing blood for a couple days after that. Nice.
So hey, if anybody's listening, Chad Roberts, he's my go-to guy for RPG stuff. Chad, I need you to send me the list of the cool RPG things that are being released at Gen Con like you did last year. If you could go ahead and send me that this year, I'll wait for you to. But anyway, go if you Ennies are like the Spiel des Jahres of the role playing game world, and Chad's up for being actually an Ennie judge, and this guy owns like everything as far as RPGs go, more than me, which is saying something.
I never liked that Chad guy. So
yeah. So
nah, I'm kidding.
Make sure you go vote for him. Give him a click, if you will. And there you go.
I want to bring that up. Maybe about the what's that big role player on YouTube? They used to be part of Geek and Sundry. The hell's the name of him?
What now?
What's that big role playing thing on YouTube that used to be part of Geek and Sundry, and they branched off of that eventually?
Oh, Critical Role.
Critical Role. Apparently, one of the members was married to the other member and got divorced for some shady shit. So they took out every video that this guy was in. And I was just curious. If you were creating stuff with other people, how would you handle that?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I understand the reason for it, yeah, but they lost like hours and hours of video because they took every video with this guy in it down, It was, I don't know if I would. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know if I agree with them. I understand why they did it, but you're still losing all that content for other people to,
So Gen Con is 2 weeks away.
2 weeks? Is it?
Yeah.
I will not be going.
Yeah, I'll be there. Come by the booth, everybody. If you're gonna be at Gen Con, come by the booth. Say yo. I'll say yo back. Yeah, I mean, we'll have Last Light there. We're air freighting them in. Very limited number of copies. So if you didn't back it and you want a copy. And we did not print a lot of extras either. So if you are at Gen Con and you didn't back it, that's going to be probably your best shot, especially at getting the Kickstarter version. Not to put the feeling of FOMO in anybody's brain or nothing.
No.
Next week also we will be doing the Gen Con preview. So okay. The always exciting and entertaining Gen Con preview.
3 hours of games nobody here will buy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was looking at it. I mean, okay, so I mean, this isn't going to be the official. Oh, did you see that Chaosium announced they're going to do? I actually saw a thing.
You saw a thing on the internet?
I said,
gotta be real.
Shut up. I saw a thing. I saw a board game that I actually was like, oh, well, I might have to get that kind of thing. I haven't I mean, it's not a guarantee by any shot. I'm gonna need to know more than just the box cover, which is all that's been released so far. But Horror on the Orient Express, the board game. So Horror on the Orient Express is a fantastic Call of Cthulhu scenario. The best thing about the scenario is because like in Call of Cthulhu, the players play investigators and your life expectancy is not long. You'll go insane, you'll be eaten, just things like that. But the nice thing, since it takes place on a train, as the train travels, like you get to the next stop, oh, somebody needs a new character. Well, here's a new character. They just got on the train. So that it's easy to replace the character.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, it's a fantastic campaign. I've never ran it. I need to. I've read it. I've read my copy. There's a fantastic, basically box set for the 7th edition version of the rules. And there's been more than just that one too. There's a lot of them. But anyway, my whole point here is there's a board game for Horror on the Orient Express. So I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, there's no release date. There's nothing about it. There's absolutely it's like
there's a name, huh?
Well, yeah. So Chad said this. Kiasmi is doing Demons of Orient Express board game, and I'm like, I'm all for that thing. But they're kickstarting it in 2024. Well, I mean, cool. I mean, I'll back it in 2024 then. But I mean, that's as far as that goes. I mean,
we're still 6 months out from.
Well, I know, isn't that crazy?
5 months out, yeah.
I actually have something super huge to announce about Gray Fox Games, something that we're going to be doing, but I can't actually say anything about it because it's being announced on Friday. So I can't. So I hate to be that guy about.
Sure.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah. So there you go. I can't. I mean, but we have. So and if you watch the Dice Tower big mega announcement video, it'll be on there. So it releases on Friday, so that it can be used. And then obviously after that we'll have our own information that we will be sharing at that time. But it's super exciting, and I'm super excited. So yeah. So I'm sorry to be vague, but stay tuned.
You're not.
Friday, something super cool.
Super cool. I hear something weird about the Dice Tower Con. There was like a rule that you couldn't pass business cards around.
At Gen Con?
At Dice Tower Con. I thought that was kind of odd.
I've never heard of that before in my life.
I was watching a thing about somebody who went, and he mentioned that as a negative specifically. I forget who it was on YouTube. But yeah.
So Chad, I'm sorry. I want you to comment. I just want to mention. So Chad, I backed the Old Gods of Appalachia Kickstarter, and I actually filled out my shipping form today. So hopefully I'll get that soon. Anyway, so no cards being handed out.
Yeah, it's I thought that kind of odd.
I'm
sure they had a reason,
but that's BS, man. Because I definitely have collected people's cards at Dice Tower, unless it was something just this year. Because we didn't go this year. I went 2 years.
He said it was the guy just came back from this year's the one in Florida. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's new. I don't know.
But hey, Chad, that doesn't mean you still got to send me that list. So, yeah.
You don't know.
And if you're listening to this and you want to be my pal, my friend, my buddy, go to the Gen Con 2023 preview. You can I don't have a link for it. You can find it if you just do a like just Google search BGG Gen Con preview 2023, and we'll take you right to it. I'm sure you guys know how to use a Google search. But if you go in there and you sort by thumbs, the Last Light has 194 thumbs. I think it's like 7th or 8th on the list. So if you want to go ahead and go in there and give it a thumb and be a friend of the Alaboom, I'd appreciate that. So
That makes him a friend of Alaboom.
well, a friend of me anyway.
I say I got no stakes in this.
Yeah. No, I mean this is one of those things where it's like I find myself like going through. I went through like the thumbed things or whatever. And again, as people have told me many times over, I hate games.
Yes.
And my wife called me a grump today. She said, "You're a grump." I was like, "I'm not a grump."
I concur.
I'm a very happy person.
As long as you're alone. Or
Yeah,
with one kid.
I am mildly interested in Empire's End. I was looking through the things and I was like, what Empire's End? It's like some John D. Clare game. Who I worked with when I was with TMG. But it's yeah, and it's like basically like your empire is like crumbling and falling apart, and you're trying to and you're trying to like basically keep it floating. Now the weird thing is, and I want to know what happened. The weird thing is, maybe somebody in the chat can tell me. It was supposed to be, from what I understand, it was supposed to be an AEG game, I thought, but it is being released by Brotherwise, which I was like,
I don't know who Brotherwise is.
Well, Brotherwise did Unearth from like Unearth was the game they released. Oh man, it's gotta be like 3 or 4 years ago. But that was the big one because it had the kind of Minecraft feel or look to it. So
okay.
But for some reason, I thought I saw because John D. Clare was, I always saw him like doing like I always saw him like he was like John D. Clare was like kind of like AUG's little house designer. But I mean, for some reason, I could have sworn I saw a banner. It had that name on it or something, and I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
So
there's that.
There's that.
Where were you going with that?
Nothing. I mean, like I was just kind of perusing the list of games, like perusing the games that are being released and what's coming out. And one, I knew nothing about most of these.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because I just don't know anything that's coming out anymore.
I'd be in the same boat. It doesn't surprise me.
So there's that where it's like we'll go over this list next week and people will say something like okay, sorry, Chad said Unearth actually got an expansion, which I thought was odd since it was forgettable. The problem is they sold a ton of those games, like a ton of them. Because I just remember like going to conventions and they were moving that cardboard constantly. So they might not have, but I mean they definitely did make their money on it. But anyway, so my big thing is I was saying that as I was trying to wrap my head around the new games, all these new games that are coming out and all these things that are like you can't keep track of them all. But when we go through this list, what happens is that somebody will say, "Oh, that's actually a game I'm excited about because it does this, that, and the other thing." and then I'll be like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. But I don't know. I honestly do not plan on buying any board games. I'll buy some excuse me. I will absolutely buy a few RPGs there. I know I'll do that, but no interest whatsoever.
That's pretty much how I was. Yeah. At BGG Con, I didn't expect to buy it. Well, I was going to buy Glenmore if they had it in the store, and I forgot. But anyway, came home with 5. Jen bought 5 games after we got home. Yeah, they sent 5 or
because she
6.
played them there, and they were like, "Oh, that was cool."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with any of her. Well, other than that Mysterium, kids Mysterium, I don't know how much that'll get played, but yeah. Yeah, every once in a while, you need a or your invigoration, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like,
you gotta play games at cons instead of working cons. You know, it's.
I do find it funny that Trick or Treat Studios, who, mind you, Andy Van Zant, who was a gentleman that I worked with, who is the lead game developer at TMG. Trick or Treat Studios is doing a version of Gold West, which was a game that we made.
I enjoyed that
at TMG. Yeah, so they're like second edition or whatever.
Damn it!
Good. I like Gold West. Gold West
Yeah,
is a
I
good
don't
game.
like second editions. Means I gotta buy a new fucking copy.
Yeah, and I've always said that the game that that was really really good by TMG that nobody played was Pioneer Days. The basically it was the Oregon Trail game that had dice drafting.
I don't remember that one.
So the cool thing about Pioneer Days was that the first person would roll a bunch of dice, and then each person would get to each person then picks a die that they want to use, and then but there were 4 calamity tracks, just like an Oregon Trail, like flooding or sickness or being attacked by animals or things like that, right?
Yeah.
And when the last die that is left that doesn't get selected goes, and whatever that die represents, the calamity track of that track goes up on the track. And so when you draft, what happens is that each person, like the first person, I get to go first, so I get the pick of the litter. I can take whatever I want. And you're thinking, oh, well, going last sucks because like you get the leavings. But when you go, basically the last 2 people actually have a pretty interesting, like when you're playing with 4 players. Second person, they kind of get I get almost the pick. But the last two people, the penultimate person has to say, well, I can't leave a die that's going to hurt me available for this person to take, because they get to pick the last 2 dice, and whatever one they don't pick is going to hurt the rest of people. And so they can look at the other players and say, oh, if you get a disease right now, you don't have enough medicine to save all your townsfolk that are on your train. So it actually, going last actually kind of, isn't like, oh, this stinks, I'm going last, I don't get to do anything cool, and it's like, oh no, actually you get to control everything in that situation. You don't get to pick like the best whatever, but you do get to you do get to you have the other people's fates in your hand, kind of, so to speak. So I was thinking, but so I found that interesting.
We were actually talking about TMG today or yesterday. It was me and Jen. I was going through my collection. I was combining all the Arkham Horror expansions into a couple boxes and stuff like that. And Jed just happened to notice. She's like, "You got all your TFG games next to each other," and then all the there was another one just because they happened to go like that. I was like, "Yeah." I only have a few TFG games that I kept.
Yeah.
Gold West was one of them. So was that other? What was the other one? The one Sen did. I'm blanking on the name.
Belfort?
Yeah, Belfort. That's another one I kept.
Fun game as long as you can play with 5 players. 3. That one's a 3-player game.
Yeah, that's usually what I played at. 2 or 3. Yeah. Mr. Vid.
Hey, how you feeling, guy?
I don't think he has a voice.
Hey, how's it going? As good as I can be, I guess.
Yeah.
You're on the mend.
We're getting you a hamster ball, Scott. We're just gonna put you in a hamster ball every time.
You're gonna give me
go out.
what? A hamster ball?
Yeah, that way you can't
Oh,
get
so I
that.
don't get any bubble boy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
All right, so the
My
moops.
mic is not working, by the way. I don't know why.
I'll fix it.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going off.
So my video card died before the cruise.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah.
Were you sure it's the video card?
And then I mean, I couldn't get anything out of it. I replaced the video card, and I think I might have broken my computer.
Oh no.
I don't know. I mean, it's working, right? But like, I had it weirdly jammed. I couldn't get the PCI lock button thing, which is so dumb now. I don't know why they do that. I mean, I guess there's because the video cards are massive. So the PCI lock was jamming the card up. I couldn't get it out. So I was like, what are you doing wrong? And I couldn't, like, I had to like try to push it back in. It was like a nightmare. I mean, it took hours. I finally got it. I had to basically take a break, wait another day. And I came back to it the next day, and then it took like another hour to get it out. But
sometimes it bees like that.
Then I took another hour putting the new one in and plugging the wrong cable, wrong power cable into it.
Oh, that ain't good.
You know, I did not build this computer myself. This is what I bought. You know, NZXT or whatever.
Was it too low or too high voltage?
It didn't work. It didn't turn on, so I had to basically spend another like 2 hours troubleshooting everything.
Yeah,
like swapping cables, like it just sucked. Plus, I had COVID.
Yeah, I would have done it with COVID.
But I mean, you know, I couldn't get my computer working, so I was like, "What am I gonna do?" I mean, I had my phone, and I had my Mac. I guess I could use my Mac, but I wanted to like do other things. Anyway, yep. So, yeah.
So other than
awesome.
That's what I was going to say. Other than getting sick, how was the cruise?
It was great. Good.
What was the highlight for you?
Not having COVID.
Well, that's an afterthought.
We went to this game store in Ketchikan, which is really cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
Meet the owners and some of the locals. Gosh, it feels like my monitor is like super high. There we go. Lower this a little bit. Like my head is like in the. If that's any better. Yeah, so I got to talk to them and you know their philosophy of a game store.
What was their philosophy?
They did not subscribe to having sales. If something was on the shelf, it would stay there for years. They would not try to, you know, they would not try to clear stock, old stock.
Yeah.
And interesting, like it's an interesting tourist attraction because, you know, gamers cruise, and it's on the main strip of Ketchikan, like it's right off the dock. And
I'm sure they got some old titles too.
They said just the previous week or something that someone came in and bought this old Games Workshop stock they had, and he was like, she said there was like tears in his eyes. I'm like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool.
Huh.
Of old like Games Workshop, you know.
I didn't think because
something minis thing.
What? I didn't think about that because the store around the corner from me was like that for years. They wouldn't adjust prices, and I remember going in there and just looking, comparing them. And it's interesting that they did have the older stuff there that's out of print. Yeah, because of that reason.
Yeah, I mean, because they compete with Amazon.
Mhm.
Amazon delivers there, which is surprising to me. Now it may not be 2-day, but
Yeah,
it
I'm
gets
sure.
delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to deal with all that. And well, global marketplace. But they're really, really sweet. And it's not their full-time gig. And
I
it's
know.
yeah, like they both work in the school system there.
Okay.
One's an IT guy, the guy's an IT and she's a teacher, I think, if I remember correctly.
So how does that work? Is it like after school?
Yeah,
or
they
like,
open. Yeah, they don't open till like noon.
Okay. I thought it would be something like that, or certain days.
And yeah, I mean, because they do have an employee actually too. So I'm guessing when they're at work, the employee opens the store. And she was quite nice too. And they're just, really, really good natured and happy and excited to see us, and lots of questions. We got pictures and very cool. Just fun. Different kind of take on gaming, like the community there is a big deal to them, which makes sense. Because that would make a sound.
Well, I mean, I hate to say, I mean, I'm sure they were amazing. I'm sure they were awesome.
Yeah,
But
you're
he's
sure
gonna
they were
piss all
nice.
over your
Piss in the cornflakes.
Cheerios. He's gonna piss on the
I'm
cornflakes.
sure they were nice.
I never heard cornflakes before. I used to use Cheerios.
I'm just, I mean, what gaming, what board game store is like, fuck this community, just come here, buy it and get the fuck out.
No, but
Anyone with Warhammer.
I don't know if that's always the most important thing to some game stores. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's probably not true. I'm sure all the game stores in the world have their community at heart.
Yes.
Well, what are they doing to support the community? Are they hosting
Yeah, they host games and stuff. They do Magic tournaments, and
they're going out and doing a bunch of charity work and going to schools and doing game teachings to kids.
I don't know, maybe they do.
You never know.
I'm not gonna say they would. They don't.
When what's his name comes on, we'll ask him. He used to be a store owner. Evan.
Okay, so here I got my story. I was waiting for you to show up because I was waiting for you to.
You wanted to save your story for my return.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, but this is actually a fairly recent development. Well, first
Fairly recent development. Okay.
well, fairly recent in like the fact that there's an ongoing thing going on at my house. But anyway, so first for good news, my son's down to one board break, and then he'll be a black belt. He's completed everything. He's just
one board break to a black belt. Wow.
He's got to jump over 4 people and break a board with basically a running jump
That's
kick.
impressive.
Yeah. So
what size people? We
like,
talking NBA players or
no, they're okay. So and I should say that everybody's down on all 4s. But
okay, but still,
it's 4 adult humans. It's 4 adult humans.
All right.
So that he has to run,
really, they use
jump, break a board.
Use people from the class.
So literally after the Alaboom, Thursday morning, I usually, I mean, during the summer I can sleep in a little bit. I'm like, we were up until whatever it was, 1 or 2 in the morning doing the boom, and I'm half awake, and I hear my wife yelling my name, and I was just like, what's going on? Just like that weariness, and I slowly get up, and she's like, there's water all over, and I go out, and our kitchen floor is like completely covered, like in water. And I look, and you can just see it pouring out, like dribbling out the front of the dishwasher. And so
breath away.
Yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck?
I had a water event again also today.
Yeah. I mean, towels and everything. We're drying it all up. I can see that the it must have been there for hours, because I can see the the I can't even talk. I can see that the laminate is, already, bubbled up and everything like that. And anyway, cleaned it up as best as we can. Called the insurance company. They were like, well, get somebody out there to look at it. And what they should have done right away is they should have said, we'll call this like restoration people. So like it was a little bit later. And I finally was like, this is dumb. I mean, I'm gonna have to start pulling up because I could when you were stepping on it, I could feel it squeegeeing the water and stuff like that. I was like, I can't sit here and wait and have somebody come out here to look at this. I was just like, and I don't want to start tearing up my floor and then have my insurance company say, oh, well, you tore up the floor, that's your fault, so I contacted the insurance company again, and they were like, okay, well, we'll call this restoration company for you. And then they called me, and I was like, hey, this is the deal. And they sent these guys out, and they're like, yep. And they just started ripping up our kitchen floor, and basically just ripping up everything. The entire top floor of our house is the exact same flooring. So they're just tearing up all the stuff. You can see there's tons of water underneath. They did a great job. Surf Pro, they're like a national chain, but whatever, the guys here in the area, they did a great job. We had like a dozen giant fans and dehumidifiers going, plus some of it went through the floor. So I had there's a big giant hole in my my ceiling over here, where the
it leaked through.
Yeah. And so and it's just like, so from like for like 5 days, our house sounded like it was like you were on an old World War II airport,
right?
But the planes were never taking off. Just
we did that in our old house too.
Yeah. Like literally, like if you were in the kitchen, you were screaming at the I didn't do it. What?
Imagine working in that every day.
The nice thing is that it was actually like today it was 80 degrees out, but for that stretch of days it was like 71, 70 degrees outside. And we actually have in our back, on our deck, and I think I've told you this, we've actually made an enclosure, and we actually have a TV that we put out there. So like we could, so you didn't have to be stuck inside the house and listen to that noise. We would just go outside and sit on our outdoor couch and just sit on the deck and watch TV and eat our food and stuff out there. But yeah, so that's now I get to, the insurance adjuster comes in tomorrow. I already had one contractor come in, and he's going to get me a quote on how to basically redo the entire top floor of my house. Thankfully, there's no like major drywall damage. What?
You have hardwoods or anything?
No, it was all laminate upstairs. So
maybe you can get hardwoods.
Maybe
they would have held up.
Thankfully, thankfully, like I said, they're gonna have to. So they're gonna have to do some drywall stuff down here, because obviously there's the giant hole that they had to cut to dry everything.
So remind me, you had this problem before where it leaked a little, and the guy said
this was something different. I mean, that was still
the dishwasher, same machine, right?
Yeah, but this was like there was a
drainage issue.
There was two parts basically failed. The worst two parts could possibly fail in conjunction, because the guy that came out to take a look at the dishwasher, who basically ripped the whole thing out, he was like, yeah, this part broke and this part broke. He said this part broke, allowing basically the water that comes up through the plumbing basically never stopped. And this part, as soon as it feels water come up to it, it's supposed to shut it off and basically like close it, so like no water can get into the dishwasher when it isn't running. Right. And he said, so that part broke, and then this part that's the backup safety also broke. So like basically
you just didn't like chunk that thing.
So yeah, you got a piece of junk dishwasher.
Anything in my house that leaks a little, gone.
I wouldn't go that far, Scott.
Out. I know, but
But anyway, so now I mean, whatever, insurance, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
Oh, I would have went nuts with that. I know how
man.
to get around insurance and construction.
Hey,
You would have got a whole new house out of that one.
just let it run. Just let it run, honey. Just let it run.
I need a bunch of tea bags, man. We got this.
No. So that was the exciting thing that happened to me.
Yeah, I've got a water thing that so I installed that AC in my garage. It's leaking today, and it leaked inside, and I'm not happy.
I don't blame
I'm
you.
tempted to get that thing. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing. Like it's probably just a very small leak, but I'm tempted to toss it.
I would go that first. Go. Well, find out what the problem is first. Then go from there.
I don't mess with water, man. The water. So for some reason, it got in my head. I'm like, oh, I wonder how hot it is today. Of course, it's like 102, right? I was like, what is 102 feel? I should have went out yesterday. It was 107, and I was like, what does 102 feel like? Because I didn't go out yesterday. So I walk outside and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like an oven. Like when you open the door of an oven, you like put a pizza in or something.
Yeah.
You get that blast of hot air in your face.
Yeah.
So I walk out.
Where if you lean forward too far, it like
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
singe my
sucks.
eyebrows.
yeah.
So I walked to the like, oh, I'll check the mail. And I'm walking back in and I see water. I'm like, huh, where's the wait, it's coming out of the garage door. What the fuck? And I start tracking it back and like tracing it. I'm like so there's like a pile of boxes in the garage where I just store all the like leftover boxes and all completely flooded.
It's
And what's that?
It's leaking in the house.
Yeah, it's so
it's
the AC, the condensate off runoff is, it's up in the air. It's like this. It's one of those it's a mini split.
Yeah.
And it's venting the water outside, right through the wall.
Right.
Except it's leaking down inside. So it's leaking. So not venting the water outside.
Oh, okay. So
whoever did that seal of that tube
seal it right. Yeah.
not sealed correctly.
That's what I was going to say. That's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's trickling down the wall. And then
Have you ever had an air
out.
conditioner freeze over on you?
Yes.
That's
When
happened.
I grew up in Florida, we did. Yeah, we had a wall AC that was like an ice cube.
Yeah, I mean mine like it was on, but like no air was coming. It was like just
a block of ice.
yeah, and then the guy like I remember I called the guy and I was like, can you come over out and take a look at it? And he was just like, let me try to save you some money. Let me walk you through a couple of ideas here, and then he actually was just like, go out and look at this. Is that yeah, that's fine. Okay, go out and look at this. Is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, go ahead and look down inside. Do you see a big chunk of ice? And I was like, I do see a big chunk of ice. And he's like, yeah.
For a new one.
No, actually, he said, he said, don't worry. I was like, you got a hose nearby? I was like, yeah. And he said, okay, so he's like, this is gonna sound crazy, but you could do this. He's like, just turn the hose on and just start spraying that big chunk of ice with the hose, because it was in the middle of summer, right? And I was just like, well, why won't it just melt? It won't melt on its own. He said, because
that cold.
Yeah, it's just just run that water on it, and he's like, just turn off your AC and run the water on it until you get the ice to melt, and then give it about 5-10 minutes and start the AC, and if all goes well, it'll be fine. And I did, and it was fine. And I was like, hey, thanks for not coming out. He's like, yeah. He's
So
like,
can I tell you about my whale watching story?
tell us about the whale watching.
Oh, the whales that
story.
never came?
There was whales. The other things came too. So
There'd be whales.
I wanted to do a whale watching thing, and I wanted it to be sort of private. So I had a little private reservation.
Yeah.
So I invited a bunch of people and my family and stuff, and we got on the boat, and we go to. There's a whole bunch of other, like there was like 50 other people going on a boat. And I'm like, wow, that's a huge boat. Like I can't believe that would be all for us, and it was not. I'm like, so that boat pulls away, and then what's behind it is this little boat. So in the shadow of this giant, quite large boat.
SS Minnow.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. The SS Minnow.
Huh, that's pretty small.
How many over you were, Scott?
What's that? This
How
is
many?
I think we had about 18 or 19 people.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
And we start getting on the boat. And I'm like, okay. Well, it was smooth as silk last time we went on whale watching, right? So I was like, not worried. And I looked at the harbor and I'm like, the water was just like still. I'm like, okay, I think we're probably okay. So we get going, push away, and we're all sitting inside the boat, and it's ripping hot. Like the sun is baking inside that's like enclosed part of the boat. Like,
oh, it's enclosed.
It's a two-decker, right? There's an upper deck, lower deck, and then everybody's like, you can go. They're like, you can go on the upper deck, but you're gonna get wet. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want to get wet. So we just stayed there while we were traveling to where the whales were, which was quite fast and quite bumpy. So we pull out of the harbor and we're in the open water. And I guess I don't know if that's the Puget Sound or what. I don't know what that's called. Right off the coast of Victoria. I'm not sure. And I'm like, this is a lot choppier than last time we went. I was like, oh, it'll probably be fine once we get out to more, I don't know, open water.
Yeah, that's always a good thought.
So we start going, and the boat's it's bouncing, and then we're sitting sort of below level of the water, where the water is like going up the sides, like
Okay.
we're cutting a wake, and like you look out the window and try to see the horizon of the land, and like it's not there, like it's just water.
Oh, really?
Going by. I'm like, wow, this is not good. Like I feel very uncomfortable. In fact, I feel a little uneasy.
Oh, seasick.
And and they're going through the whole drill, and he's like, this is not to scare you, but in the case of blah blah, and we need to put on, and it was fairly detailed explanation of how to deal with life jackets and such. And I'm like, oh, that's quite a lot of information. Like, oh, I hope that doesn't ever need to be done, right? I'm just like, I'm not going. Let's hope those life jackets aren't needed anyway. So Lincoln's looking at me, and he's wearing a mask. So I'm like, all I see is his eyes. His eyes are telling like the story. I'm like, oh no, because he's a motion sick guy. He's prone to it.
Did he take something?
I don't know if he took anything or not, but a lot of other people took stuff. And then I look to my left, and someone has the barf bag in front of them. And I'm like, this is like within 5 minutes.
Oh, that ain't good.
I'm like, oh no, shit.
3 hours.
And I don't know if they realized that I was basically their customer. Like maybe they thought, I don't know. I'm not sure what they thought, but they didn't ever ask me anything. Like everything, like I don't know. It was just a weird because it was a BGG charter thing, and maybe we were all paying customers, but I was really the customer. So nobody ever checked anything. We're like, okay, well, if they don't think it's that bad, like we'll just keep going. Maybe it'll ease up. So we go for a bit. It's like a good 20 minutes of smacking the waves, and I'm like, this is rough. Like, and I've been on boat like that kind of boat before, like never felt that rough. Like, okay, maybe once we get out and we like idle, it'll just we'll just kind of like go with the water, whatever. Man, we get there, and it is going like this in the calm water, like the open water. I'm like, it's like 3 to 4 foot. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's kind of unpleasant. So I go up top, and it's nice, and I get finally cooled down, and it's like, it's nice. The air is nice, and everything's nice. And I'm holding on for dear life. Like the guy's like, everybody do your 3-point stance. And I'm like, 3-point. Oh yeah, the 3-point stance. Like you have to have 3 points of contact. And I'm like, you would never let go of anything. Like you never just go to 2 feet, right? Like, okay, this is not fun. And I was like, I go back down, and I'm like, just shaking my head. I'm like, and because they're like, we see a whale, we see a couple like whales, barely, like very, very small amount of whale action. And they're like, we're gonna go further south. I'm like, okay, hopefully that's back towards land. But no, it was further out, maybe like about another 10 minutes. more, and then I go downstairs and like the bags are flowing, and the lady that's in charge of like everybody, like she's just constantly emptying like taking bags of vomit. And I'm like, oh no, this is just a fucking vomit cruise. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was just like really upset. I was sort of frozen with it. I'm like, let's just maybe get to that's whatever they're gonna go, and then maybe I can ask them to come back, to turn back. But I should have asked them then. Like, doing the extra 10 or 15 minutes was not good, because we get out to where the whales are again. I see the blowholes, I see the mist, I see them, I see a tail, I see a fluke, whatever.
This guy's like, fuck the whales.
It was not great. It was minor whale watching experience, in my opinion. Like I saw way more in Juneau last time we went 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was rough. I mean, it was like, I was like, maybe these are like 5 or 6 foot swells. Like, that's dangerous in my opinion. Like, the boat was just, I mean, it was like, I'm like, let's get out of here. And then they go on the thing like, we're going back, like very, very sternly and quickly, and we're turning around. And then we had to actually have one of the other boats, the big ones, like cut a path for us. We like trailed them.
Oh, to shield them. Yeah.
They were like, because they were like, their wake was basically sort of calming the water, and it was
Yeah.
So, and then she's like, we'll be back soon. I look at my watch like, we ain't gonna be back soon. It was like a good 20-30 minutes of boom boom, like, oh, big one coming, and then like I felt like it was like a fucking roller coaster. I mean, it was rough. Woo. Anyway, half the people puked, and we get off the ship, and then it starts getting cold, and I'm like, oh, let's just get out of here. And then like my family left me. I was sort of like gathering around and saying, sorry, it wasn't a great time, but we'll always have this story. And I was kind of trying to make the best of it, right? Because it was kind of fun just all being there. We all have a story. We're making a micro badge, and I was like, I'll see you, because it was like the last night, and we're going to see each other again, basically.
Wow.
And I look around, I'm like, I think my family left me. I was basically walking back to the ship by myself, which is not. Anyway, so there you go. Whale watching by Aldi.
We went.
Scott, remind me never to go whale watching with you.
I'm not going whale watching in Victoria ever again. If anything, I'll go in Juneau.
We were on the opposite side of Canada, in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. We went whale watching on a tall ship.
Okay.
And which sounds pretty cool. So they got the sails and everything. The sails weren't out because it was not super windy out, but they were using the motor, and we went out, and the sky started to get really dark. And then the navigator, the guy at the wheel, because it had one of those big, ship's wheels, right? And he had a little radar thing at his station, and we're looking. I happen to be standing beside him, and I look, and there's all of this green stuff right around our little center dot. I'm like, what's that? He's
Clouds.
like, that's a storm. And he started chain smoking.
Oh boy.
He was nervous. Yeah.
And then everybody came up and started handing out slickers to everybody. Like raincoats, big, huge, heavy raincoats.
Let's go get wet.
And they were serving alcohol on the ship and everything. And it started just, cats and dogs came down. And there was one guy, there was a young group of like, of age drinkers, whatever. They were over across the other side of the boat. And
it was like a party barge kind of thing.
It wasn't a party barge, but they did serve alcohol.
Okay, they were just passing drinks.
Yeah. And then this one guy was double-fisted. So Giselle's dad says to me, she's like, I'll be right back in a second. He goes over, and I see the guy, and they're far enough I don't hear anything. And the guy hands him his 2 drinks, and then because it's like we're all wearing these raincoats now, and then all of a sudden the guy puts his hands down, and all of this water comes out because he was holding his hands up for so long.
Oh, so he was filling up.
So it's really scary at this point where they encourage everybody to go downstairs if they're so inclined.
Yeah.
And it was me, Giselle, our foster daughter at the time, and her dad, Giselle's dad. And we stayed up on top. I think Sam went downstairs. And anyways, we never saw any whales. And we got back and we're like you, well, that was an experience that obviously I still talk about.
Yeah, you'll have
So
that talk.
when we got back before the big boat, right? And then they were pulling up to the side when we disembarked or whatever, debarked. I don't know what. And the hand embarked. I don't know.
To come back.
So, debarked the ship. Is it called debarking? Debarkation? I don't know what it. Debark. I don't know what the words are. Anyway, so the lady, one of the crew of the other large boat, was tossing a rope onto, to wrap it and get it pulled in. She goes, "Wow, you guys are really brave." I'm like, what? Because they watched us.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know. I would love to have a video of that ship going.
I wouldn't use that company again.
Not
Scott.
in a good way. I mean, luckily that the captain comes down at the end and he's like, puts his hands on it. He's because the stairs up to the captain station, whatever the pilot cockpit. He comes down, he puts his hand, and he says, "Wow, that was pretty exciting. I don't think I've seen 8." He said something about 8 foot. I'm like, there is
8
no
foot swells.
he goes, I heard the words 8 foot, and then of course everybody else has heard there were 8 foot waves. I'm like, those were not 8 foot waves. If those were 8 foot waves, we would have all been putting on the life jackets.
Yeah.
But he was like, I think he had said he had encountered 8 foot before, and everybody heard. I think they were more like 4 to 6 by my estimation. I mean, maybe there was something out there, but man, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I'm glad you're still here to tell the tale, Scott.
Believe me, what my mind was racing there. I was like, just of course,
You don't want to think
mentality comes into play. What's that?
You don't want to think like
I don't want to think the
worst.
You never do.
I'm like, ooh, wow, what a story this will be. BGG and Lost at Sea, like all those things went through my head, of course.
I blame that on your captain, Scott. He should have known better.
Everybody was smiles after it was over. There was lots of hugs and stuff.
It's an adventure.
We all had the adventure.
So I got a question for you guys. I was watching a thing on YouTube about cruising. And this cruise happened to pull in the port, I think it was in the Netherlands, where they had a dolphin hunt.
What?
A dolphin hunt or a
hunt?
Oh no, it wasn't dolphins. It was
it could have been whale. I could be wrong.
It was small whales. Yeah, basically I'm sorry to step on your story.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, just because I don't want to get gruesome, but basically a cruise ship goes by basically in Japan.
No, this wasn't Japan. It was up in the Nordic countries.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's also there's a few places in the world where they still hunt and kill whales. And a cruise ship was going by as they had basically herded these whales into a thing, and they were going out into the water and slaughtering. To see whales being slaughtered, live whales, live wild whales being beached and slaughtered, and the blood's just flowing into the ocean. And they're just like, the people are on the boat. What's going on? And they're like, "Oh, sorry."
It's something so because this community, this is what they live off of through the winter. It's they select, I think it was like 30 whales or something like that, and that's what they live off throughout the year, the whole community. But it just so happened that the cruise ship ported while this was going on. So if you were a cruiser or that, would you? I blame that on the cruise company for doing this without warning people. Would you want your money back for something like that, or some kind of
I've already
compensation?
written a strongly worded letter saying that
about the whale watching.
The whale watching excursion should have happened, and I've already asked for somewhat of a reimbursement.
Typical Canadians up for the fast buck.
I
Them
know.
damn Canadians.
Believe me, the crew was sweethearts.
What
though.
happened in
Like,
America?
and I could tell they were.
tell.
I'm like, I don't know. They're like,
Did
oh,
they say
we've had way
sorry a
worse.
lot?
We've had way worse. I don't remember any sorries.
Most of them, and it's sad, most of them won't apologize because if
Yeah,
they
then
do,
that sort of gives them an opening of look.
yeah, and the moment that you say, "Oh, we're so sorry," it's like, "Oh," and then they said they were sorry. Oh, so you were sorry, so compensation should have happened then. Oh no, well, we didn't take blame. We just, yeah. So they just won't. They won't apologize.
Yeah.
Just just they kind of tend to.
Well, I would have liked a little word of warning because there was some already potentially seasick fellow people, with us. And I reassured them. I'm like, oh, it's so calm because I had done it years ago. It was like, I was like, I barely could tell. I mean, I didn't even realize we were in the waves at all. Like,
Yeah.
okay. So I feel like I got put on a little bit of a limb there with them. Anyway,
Warning should have been, I mean, Mother Nature's Mother Nature. They could have warned you a little choppy.
it
So-
said something like, it's probably, I mean, they
Mhm.
went out, right? They had just gone out. They had gone out earlier. This was their second run.
Right.
They knew what the water was like. So
So here, let me share a did you see that happened in the most recent, so like we talked about the Sandy Peterson Cthulhu thing where they were like, oh, and all of your pallets of the games,
palette wars.
the pallet wars. Did you see what happened? The most recent update?
No.
Somebody stepped in, i.e. an investor, and just paid all the shipping.
Really?
Yeah, go read the most recent update. They said basically somebody stepped in and said, go ahead and they basically paid everybody's way. And
What is that?
if you contributed anything towards the pallet wars, they're refunding your money. And so obviously somebody stepped in and they probably negotiated some deal where, oh, you'll own X percentage of. I mean, this is complete and total supposition on my part. I have no idea, but
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem realistic.
but if you actually do read it, it says then we have something to announce soon. And they said, and it's good news. It's 100% great news. There's nothing bad news about it, but that will actually like help, Sandy Peterson Games, maintain blah 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 and so on and so forth. So sounds like somebody stepped in and, well, because I mean, they probably somebody who said, well, Cthulhu Wars makes money, so
yeah, I mean, if you're getting pennies on the dollar Cthulhu Wars, you'll make your money back eventually.
yeah. So
Maybe if that's what happened, of course. You ready for your Gen Con stuff there, Matt?
Yeah,
All your ducks in a row.
people are buying tickets slowly but surely. We
many tickets?
had over 100 applications,
Wow.
and we've got about a week left before the deadline of purchase deadline for tickets. Once you get accepted, you got to buy a $20 ticket just to
Right.
commit.
Locks me
kind of
down.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Find most of the people doing that, or is it?
yeah, we've got a good chunk of them. There's just a little bit left that have like the week left to do it, and we've got 40 publishers that are going to be there. So even if you don't get selected for the speed dating, it's going to be a very worthwhile event to
Be a
go to.
networking event, yeah.
Not to mention there's going to be a shit ton of food and
A shit ton?
and
How much shit is in a ton?
great question, actually.
Is it going to be tepid lemonade, the drinks?
Pardon
better
me?
be.
Are the drinks going to be tepid lemonade?
Matt's too classy for a tepid lemonade. Pink
Oh.
lemonade is so below everything. I mean, that's like, girl, who would do that?
I think the drink tickets cover anything up to like $8.
Oh,
Wow. So
So,
beer, basically.
beer, wine, bar rail, probably.
Oh, he's upper class, Scott. Man, he put you to shame with a tepid lemonade.
I wish I-
Beauty.
I mean, believe me, if I didn't have COVID, I was thinking about it because Lincoln was they're coming out early. And we're gonna probably
Well, you could probably make it if you have
I mean, I'm not feeling well at all.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
I'm putting on a good face here.
Well, you're a
Yeah.
brave man.
It's unfortunate.
I would, yeah, I would love to have you there.
That'd be fun to go.
Why would you have won, Scott? I'm just curious.
Do it.
Why would you have gone?
I don't know. Just something to do.
Something to do.
Life's too short.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see any whales though. So
No way else.
Nope. Well,
actually,
maybe. I
you know,
might
in
see a
in
whale.
Vegas terms, you'd be the whale, right?
Nah.
Big man on campus coming in. Look, it's got flushing. Look.
Oh,
Anyways,
that would
yeah,
be
no,
a
it's
fun
going
time
well.
one
We got
day. I don't know. I need to get back there because like we do the whole pot games room, and that's different.
yeah, that'd be fun.
That's a different feeling of Gen Con because of we don't do the video booth stuff anymore and run a booth. Running a booth is so stressful. I don't know how you do it in Atlanta. It's just so stressful.
I'm not gonna lie.
Shipping.
I'm super stressed out.
The hoops they make you to jump through for the shipping and stuff. It's like
So here, let me talk Gen Con and I'm gonna talk not like games or anything. Next week is the big games extravaganza. So I mean, here's the big giant thing that like is stressing me out the most about Gen Con is making sure our airship copies of Last Light get to our warehouse in St. Louis, so we can have them in a trailer and we can bring them in, because we've been telling everybody in God's green earth that we're going to have copies there, and until I know 100% certain that we're going to have, and not many, mind you, like maybe 150, maybe 175, until I know for certain that we have those games on the trailer and on their way to St. Louis, I am shitting my pants, because I don't want to be like, yeah, we don't have them. And then have somebody be like, what the fuck, so combine that with the fact that like it has been nearly impossible to get people that are available to work booths this year. I mean, we are going to be going to Gen Con with some of the leanest number of people I've ever had, with like basically myself, my daughter, and somebody else. That's it. We will have some part-timers that are going to be around that are going to be there, which will be cool. But basically, because Gen Con has no hotel rooms, like right now, like 2 weeks ago, and I mentioned this before, like if you went online and said, hey, does anybody have a Gen Con room? Like there were like, and when they just basically, you had to cancel or you get charged on the 17th. Like I even went and looked. I was like seeing if anybody was posting on Facebook. I got a room. I'm gonna give it up here in like a day. Nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying I'm looking for a room. Nobody was saying, yeah, I got an extra one.
And
like,
GenConHotels.com had nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, is it going to be a banner year, I guess?
Or who knows, right? I mean, so, which also scares me, because if I have like not a lot of booth and I'm going to be demoing Last Light there. I'm going to be demoing a brand new game, Clans of Midgard there. I'm going to be showing off After the Empire, of course. I mean, it's like I will be, and I'm the only one that can take the money. I can't have my daughter taking the money, and I'm just gonna have part-timers there the entire time. So it's like I'm super stressed about just having to run the booth. I mean, it'll be fine. It's one of those things where it's like once I get into the groove of like being at the booth, like Shane will ask me, he's like, seriously, have you been here? It's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I just need to be able to, like, you don't have a chance to get hungry. You don't have a chance to go and, like use the bathroom. It's just like, because you just sit there and you just.
Here's a question. Do you offer travel and room and board and all that stuff?
In the past we have, but we couldn't get another room.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anybody that would offer travel.
Nobody offers travel. Get your ass there on yourself. Figure out how you get there.
Yeah, I know anybody other than you that offers travel.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll give you a room. We'll give you a room, and we will. And I mean,
I think 8 to a room.
I had, and I had a couple of people that had volunteered for us in the past, and they were like, "Would you like us to volunteer?" And I was like, absolutely, if you can find a room. And they were just like, well, in the past, you've given us a room. And I was like, in the past, we had a room to give. I don't have one.
So if
You know?
somebody came to you and said, we found an Airbnb, would you subsidize it for us?
I mean, it would depend on the Airbnb. I mean, it'd be one of those things. So it's, yeah, we found this Airbnb. It's $2,000 a night.
No,
I'd be
but
like,
would you just subsidize it? Would you pay whatever you'd pay for a hotel room?
I mean, we take it under, at this time. No, it's too late
No.
now. I mean, we've got it, but I mean, that would have been something we would have considered, you know. And it was just kind of like, and I mean, and at the time, I felt kind of bad because a lot of people, I was like, I'm really sorry, I can't help you out this year. And then I had some people go behind my back and complain to other people within my company. They're like, yeah, so what's his problem? Why does he want me to? And they're like, and I was like, dude, I told you we didn't have a room. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it mean. I was just like, but that's fine. People will.
It does
go
feel.
and-
I mean, and I could be completely wrong, but it does feel a little lopsided with the exhibitor block, like being so strapped. It must be being abused in some way.
I got my room through the exhibitor block.
Downtown.
The Omni.
That's good. Yeah, that's downtown.
So I mean, I had a client of mine who shall remain nameless.
But you have one. You got one room.
I got one room. I asked
Yeah,
him,
I
like,
mean,
listen, I'm looking for a room. Can you help
when
me out?
you're-
I'll pay for it.
Yeah. When you're running
So
like
cost-
a team
pardon?
of 12,
Yeah.
room doesn't cut it.
No, but it's still costing me like 2,000 Canadian for the week.
Are we bringing our upgrade bits and promos? I think yes, to a degree. Some of them, they will be in the Meeple Source booth where we're being represented at the Meeple Source booth for
Are there going to
BBG.
be any UX decks there?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I hope so. If not, I'll have Beth.
Stick H,
I'll have one of my guys bring some.
Stick H, I do want you to stop by the booth and pretend to be angry about
I think
emails
that's
from
one.
me. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, no, I mean, it's just Gen Con. I mean, I will get a couple or 2-3 hours probably on a Saturday to kind of check out the floor with my daughter, and which will be fun and it'll be nice. And that's just why I rely on Chad to tell me what cool new RPG stuff will be there.
Oh,
So I
she's
can
helping
just-
out again?
Yeah.
Right on.
So, and
Yeah,
she's excited to
Chad and Doris
go.
aren't going this year.
What?
Chad and Doris aren't going this year.
No. Well, yeah, but he usually knows what's cool.
Oh, yeah, he'll probably know it.
I always get
Oh, who's
Ryan-
gonna
He's
handle
on.
the BGG Hot Games room then? Who do I gotta schmooze for my VIP ticket?
Lainey, Beth.
Oh, easy. I know. I saw. I don't say that because then she'll be a turd to me. But no, I
well,
saw.
Lance just assumes there's a VIP.
I saw.
card.
I talked to Lady at Origins. She and I had a great conversation. So it was nice. I don't know, man. I mean, it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's kind of nice to.
It'll be fun.
Be there.
I'm sure
But-
it'll be fun.
But I'm gonna have to fly in probably.
Are you,
the-
who's driving it over to the
Shane. Shane's got because so I'm probably gonna have to fly in on Tuesday night, stay at like a crummy hotel right near the airport, and then Uber in to my real hotel at the Regency. Which
Oh,
fine.
the Regency, huh? Oh, Mr.
Well,
Fancy Pants.
well,
We
that's
didn't
what-
even get it. We're
that's
running
what-
an event in the Regency. We don't get any hotel rooms in the Regency.
That's where the hot games room is,
I'm aware.
and that's where the super
Where
secret
is
subway
it?
is.
Where is that?
It's like kitty corner. It's hard to explain.
Like the JW is the top left.
I don't know. It's hard to explain until you get there. I don't know. It's just
I'll
like,
look it up.
but no, like okay.
The
So,
JW is like a good quarter mile or half mile away.
so let me just like say this is the convention center. Like I'm just drawing a little square here.
Yes.
Yeah, and then like basically like across the street diagonally
Yeah,
is where the Hyatt Regency is. But so, and that's where the super secret subway is that they open 24 hours a day. So you can go.
It's near the what's that burger place? That
Shake
everybody
Shack?
loves? Shake. No, not Shake Shack.
Oh, Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake.
Yeah, Steak and Shake. Well, no, so you go to that on Wednesday before it gets super busy. You
I'm
get your
looking
steak-
forward
get
to
your
going
Steak and
to-
Shake
100%.
everywhere.
Always go before the.
I'm looking forward to going to Harry and Izzy's to get the bacon jam burger.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that place.
So here's the crazy thing. So we got the thing from. So I had to go through.
You're
Fern.
going, Scott.
My mouth is watering.
I had to
Oh,
go
that,
through
that hot shrimp cocktail.
Oh, that's St. Elmo's.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. No, Harry and Izzy's has one too.
Do they?
I believe so.
Let me tell my story.
Sorry,
So-
Lance, go.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's food. I understand.
Couldn't interrupt them, Scott.
So no, so I had to go through Fern to get a parking spot for our trailer. So it's like you
Right.
have to go through
In
that
the
process.
marshalling yard.
The marshalling yard, yeah. So I went through that whole process to get them, and then you know what?
Oh, that's a pain in the fucking arse.
I'll just say this. You know, they love to take your money, but and I will say 9 times out of 10, you know, Fern loves to take your money, but you know what? They treat you with respect and kindness, and they actually are very, very helpful. They
Because you're
are.
paid for it.
Well, yeah, they're
They'll sell you
getting,
the-
they're getting paid a
buy-
premium.
You can buy a
premium on the money.
cage to store stuff in on a
Yeah.
month's notice on the first day because
Yeah,
92 boxes show up they didn't expect.
Yeah, like they will make you pay a premium, but they will be awesome to deal with. So I say that. I mean, like the guy that comes over to hang up our banner, you know, like he's always like, hey, how we doing today? You know, just like
Yeah, I remember that one. I think we
Yeah.
were the last to go. Last year I went with a banner. I'm like, never again. Never paying that banner ever again.
So, and also for those of you who are setting up, I'll say this to anybody who listen. If you were one of the people that is setting up in that sweaty, hot, sweaty room that first day at Gen Con,
Let's hear this gamer pro tip here.
no, this is
What's your pro tip there, Lance?
this is my huge pro tip. You'll be thirsty and sweaty and whatever. Like, and there's places you can go out, you can grab a soda, but they're like $3 or whatever for like a Gatorade or, you know, like out of the vending machines. In the loading docks for the guys that basically work there, they have like normally priced $1 for a bottle of soda vending machines
I did not know that.
in the loading dock area. So you
Fuck
just
them guys now, right?
By the way,
When they run
There's
out.
AC in the men's room,
yeah, and that's also
but it stinks.
I
but it's
do remember.
Cool.
I do remember the one year, and I forget what it was, like Mayfair or somebody paid to have the air conditioning turned on that day.
Those days are long gone.
Those days are long gone. So I remember I got the thing, and it was this big long list of like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you're not allowed to do this. Teamsters Union says you can't do this, you can't do this. All these things that said you can't do. And then it was like, you are not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. And like at the very end, like there's 2 lines. It said, exhibitors that truck in their own items are allowed to bring them in themselves. You know, you don't have to, you can put them on a pallet jack or whatever, and you can
marshalling yard.
Yeah. You know, so you can do that yourself, right? So like, and that's what we do. So we don't, and one of the things they said on there was that you are not allowed to rely on another distributor, exhibitor, or whatever to bring in your stuff and then have them deliver that stuff to your spot, which is everybody does it. You know, it's just like, there's people that have deals, but everybody does it. They have deals with cool stuff for QML. They have deals with Miniature Market. They have deals with impressions. They have deals with Greater Than Games. Everybody does it. Everybody pays them like a flat $75 a pallet, and they like just haul them over to you and drop them off in full view of the Fern people, and they can't do anything about it. You know, they just don't care. So. Now, and I just want, and I'll turn this. This is we'll just go ahead and let's say that like in the people in the comment section, I want to see it too. And this is dollars and cents. And this is closest without going over. If you rely on Fern to deliver your product from the loading dock to your station, how much does Fern charge per pound?
Bridge.
Per pound.
I think I know, but I
To basically it's called very good. It's the bridge. You know, it's like I will
Bridge.
take because we'll take it from the loading dock to your booth. It doesn't matter, and this is not a distance, right? It doesn't matter if it's
$25.
it doesn't matter if it's no.
that for
I'll just say right now that's an insane amount of money. That's per pound. Remember, it's
Let's
per
go
pound.
$5 then.
Okay, so I have $5. If somebody in the
$5
yeah, $5 per pound
per pallet.
No, per pound.
Well,
How many
pounds?
will weigh
Did they
the
weigh it?
pallet. They will weigh the pallet, and then they will charge you by the weight of the pallet.
Oh,
Because I've heard of pallets being like thousands of dollars to dropped off.
Yeah.
I'll say like $2,000 pallet.
No, it's per pound.
I really have no concept of that.
Okay. So here it is. It's $1.08 a pound.
That's it?
But you have to remember. Let's
your
say
pallet's
A
weigh like
game weighs like
2,000
5
pounds.
pounds.
a game weighs easy 4 or 5 pounds,
Yeah.
and each box has 6 games in it usually.
So you're
So,
$10 a game, $12 a game. Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So yeah, and then now put that. Now you have a pallet with 16 boxes on it. You know, you start thinking about that money. Yes, so that's how you get like $2,000 to deliver a pallet to somebody's. And for like games that might be worth, that might have an MSRP of $5,000, but you're paying $2,000 to get it delivered to your.
Forrest, I love the new do.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I mean that's the insanity of Fern. I mean, it's a racket, you know.
It is.
You know, but God bless the unions, right? Yeah, no, I'm stressed out. I'll be stressed out until Gen
Are we
Con is
playing
over.
initials tonight?
Yeah, I just grabbed the deck out. I think. But since
we
Forrest
draw.
is here, you might as well quiz his brain. Well, Forrest,
Oh,
I got you. Did you hear us talk about it? You should do a quick snatch a video on that one. Check out their most recent Peterson Games for Cthulhu Wars video.
Jesus.
No.
What the hell?
A mysterious benefactor came in and paid all
Fierce
the
benefactor
shipping.
appears.
A mysterious benefactor showed up and paid all of the shipping.
Scott, did you do that?
Hell no.
Fuck no.
Oh, I had a question for you. Did you ever figure anything out about that electronic game board thing that the
LB.
Tubaru or whatever?
yeah, the vampire thing?
No, it launches in like 12 days.
Tebaru. I was just wondering if there was anything about it. I was trying to. I mean, I want the game. I want it. I mean, I bought the. I'm gonna have to
Hey,
buy
Lance, we got it.
the vampire one too.
All right.
The
LB.
guy who wants to
as
hear
in
his voice. I don't
Lance.
understand why he doesn't say the letters every week.
B as in
Badass.
badass. There you
As
go.
in
Thank you very much.
BGG.
LB is in pounds.
Yeah. Ha! Nice. All right. Here we go. Debuted in 1994.
Forrest.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's me. Just
Oh.
cheating.
Connected to Woodstock.
Forrest,
Go for it.
Limp Bizkit.
$3 bills, y'all.
Oh my
Who
god,
you
I
calling?
just watched that fucking documentary the
You're
other
calling
night.
me. I thought you were calling me.
What did you? I thought I heard
I
Forrest.
called
Did you-
out as well. So whatever.
Oh,
It's
well, you're gonna win. Don't worry about
fine.
it.
No, spotted you a point. There you go. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, here we go. Seen golfing in a 1996 film.
Is this a continuation of the Limp Bizkit one, or is this a new clue?
No, you got it correct.
Okay. Well, normally you read off the rest of them, right?
Well, not usually, but
Okay.
yeah. Known for their faith. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah, because
The song.
I
they
wouldn't
did
say
the
that was their
cover
most
of
popular.
George Michael's
Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah, they did Faith, but
That was like their big breakout.
that was that we're known
Oh,
for.
was it? Right.
And then
yeah.
and the reason why they got popular is because their ad agency or whatever bought up time on a bunch of like hard rock radio stations. Basically, like the whole thing was like they
Payola.
no, they did minute like ads that were like basically they played a bit of the song and then the song like faded away and then it came back and it's like, you know, Limp Bizkit's, hit single Faith, George, Faith, pick it up now or whatever, and then it came back and so basically people got to listen to about 45 seconds of the song.
You
And
guys
then-
should, if you haven't seen it, you guys should watch that Netflix documentary about Woodstock.
Oh, I
99.
did see it. Yeah,
Yeah, I will.
It's bonkers.
it is.
Which one?
It's almost as bad as Fire Festival,
Yeah,
I knew some people that went.
which they're
Oh, you're
planning
talking
a
about-
second Fire Festival, by the way.
Are
Well,
they?
why wouldn't they?
The Woodstock thing?
No.
Nah, they'll never have enough. That guy died. I think one of the promoters. One of them died.
Which
All right.
guy?
The promoters of Woodstock, the one who did the original one in the
Yeah, he
99
did.
one.
The guy that was at the
Yeah.
original one, yeah.
No, he did the 99 one too. He was in
Yeah.
cahoots with that. So he died. I don't think there'll be another
Yeah, like
Woodstock.
3 months after the documentary was made.
Oh, was that for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that they burned the first Woodstock down or the second
All right.
Woodstock down. Yeah.
Sorry, Lance.
No, you're fine. All right, here we go. I'll start over. Clue number
Okay.
1, seen golfing in a 1996 film. Famous for wearing green. Connected to Twitter's logo.
Barry,
Go ahead.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. is
Nice.
correct.
I thought I had it on the green one, but I want to make sure.
All right. Connected to Elizabeth Banks in 2008. Has twins. Once lived in a famous building. Connected to the number 43.
Bush.
Go ahead.
Laura Bush.
Laura Bush is correct.
How's that 43? What's the
The
She
president.
was married to
President.
the 43rd president of the United States.
fucking US skewed questions? Jesus Christ.
It's a U.S. game.
It's not
Here we
fair,
go.
man. I want to recount.
The Canadian version.
Ooh, that was a good book throwback to Bush too.
Well, yeah, but you can't really. Well, you could do a Canadian version, but the second syllable would always be a.
What does she have to do with Elizabeth Banks?
That was good. Yeah.
If you made a
Pat my-
Canadian
pat
version,
myself on
though,
the.
would you send it to Scott after you got done funding?
I still don't have mine.
I'll have you know,
Email.
Trivial Pursuit is Canadian.
Well, I need the email of the guy that was on last week too. I don't have that game either.
What the fuck?
The Isofarian guard guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he'd
Eric,
send you
I
one.
have Eric's email if you
Yeah,
want.
Eric Bitterman. Yeah, I got his
Said he
email.
would
He'd
send
send you one. I guarantee you would. He's a super nice guy.
He is. He's
I
a
wonder
really
if that
good,
one guy-
he's a righteous dude.
The righteous dude.
He sounded really nice.
I'll say this and I'll say it again. My son and I played Isofarian. We need to play it again, but we played and then like I've never seen him that in like zeroed in on having fun. Like
How did he like the foreteller stuff?
He really liked it. I think that really sold
There's
him
a
on it.
bug in
Yeah.
the Foreteller app.
It's neat. It's a neat concept.
Yeah.
I've been using it for Frosthaven. There's a bug that I need to report. Mike,
Whoa.
is anybody actually using this thing?
This isn't the venue for that, just so you know.
Oh no,
Yeah.
nobody's watching it anyway.
Well, if
no,
he has
no,
a
no,
grievance, sure it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean,
Fine.
agreements, knock yourself out. But I mean, as far as actually getting results,
Back button doesn't work.
well, it's like there's a if you want to, like when you get mods for certain games and you really like it, and then like the game goes through an update and the mod no longer works, and it's just like, oh, I wish this person who did all this free work for me that did this mod would you update this?
No,
And
I
you
paid
see
for it.
and you see all these people
Paid
on
product.
there. I understand. I'm just all right. Here we go. Opened in 1973. There has been more than one. Connected to water. A part of a famous nursery rhyme. This #1 hit appeared on the 2006 film The Duchess. Final clue. This can be crossed in England.
Horse,
Forest
London Bridge.
is fallen down. You
Yeah.
are correct. I guess you aren't going to win. And to answer your question, Ruki, no, it is not better than him playing D&D because I feel like a weird kinship playing D&D with him.
Mhm.
But just because it's like, I don't know, like you're handing down a little bit of my my life or whatever, like the stuff I did. It makes me happy. But anyway, here we go. Clue #1. Appeared in 2006's The Prestige. Is a part of a famous joke cycle. Connected to the Edison screw.
Horse,
Forrest.
light bulb.
Correct. Holy
Yes.
cow. Forrest is
Fire.
feeling it. Feeling it. Here we go.
I kept thinking Tesla. I couldn't get away from Tesla or David Bowie.
Clue #1. Appeared in the 1985 CBS movie Stone Pillow.
What?
I was 7.
We need Anthony.
Don't pillow.
Clue #2. Connected to the name Diane Belmont. Connected to grapes.
Matt,
Go ahead.
Lizzie Borden.
Clue #4. Died in 1989.
Barry.
Barry.
Lloyd Bridges.
Nice guess, though. I think he was alive after that, though.
Yeah, he
I
was.
thought he died that year. Okay.
Clue #5 was the first woman to run a major studio.
Oh, fuck. I know it.
Final clue. Legendary sitcom star known for her iconic 1950s CBS
Aldi.
show. Aldi, go.
Lucille Ball.
Lucille
Balls.
Ball is correct.
Desi
Don't pillow.
Lizzie Lou. I never heard of that.
Never, I have no idea either. Here you go. #1. In a Sense debuted in the 1940s.
In a sense. That's
In a
all
sense.
it is.
#2. Commonly found indoors. Connected to waste. Commonly requires training. Number 5. Features clay. Final clue. Most commonly connected to cats. 5, 4.
Matt,
Matt.
litter box.
Litter.
Oh, I had no idea.
I have cats and I had no idea.
What were those other clues again?
Clay
In a
shoulda gave it
sense,
away,
debuted in the 1940s, commonly found indoors, connected to waste, requires training, features clay.
Why, in a sense?
No idea. They don't give an explanation for the clue.
Why?
Why? Why? I'll say this. We had these, so weird thing. We had these giant, after all the snowfall we got this last winter, we had these giant monsoon puddles in the back of our yard, and the dogs would go through them and get all muddy and disgusting and stuff like that. And my wife read about the fact that like farmers get these pine pellets that you spread onto these things, and they soak up the water and they dissolve, and then the pine pellets like they basically the ground absorbs them, and you can basically throw it on there and it won't kill the grass or anything like that. And they're also a very commonly used alternative to kitty litter, and it actually smells nice and it's really good. So that's what we use now. So
We never look in the alternates. Yeah.
So and it's super cheap. You get like a 30-pound bag for like $6 at any Tractor Supply company. It's a pretty good deal. And if somehow it ends up in your drains, it won't clog them up. Here we go. Number 1, connected to the number 95 in a 2006 film. Connected to Mortal Kombat's Raiden.
Matt,
Go.
lightning bolt.
That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Next to Pikachu, connected to a professional sports team in Los Angeles.
What's the 95?
That's Lightning McQueen, baby.
Hmm.
Cars.
Never saw it.
Oh yeah.
I have not seen it either.
Have you ever? Do you remember the old Michael J. Fox movie, Doc Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Julie Warner?
It's the exact same plot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cars is?
Yeah. So Doc Hollywood, he's gonna head out west to his big plastic surgeon job that he's gonna go and do, but his car breaks down in the middle of nowhere, and they basically he's forced by the small town to like become the town doctor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Lightning McQueen, he's raced in the amateur circuit. He's the best car. He's gonna go out west, and he's gonna become the next greatest sports car, professional sports car racer. And he falls off of the trailer truck that he's in, and he breaks apart or whatever. And then in this little podunk town in the middle of nowhere, and they said, well, we'll fix you, but we need you to help out around town and do the thing. And so Lightning McQueen learns to,
Not be selfish.
Those are 2 dots I never connected.
Yeah.
I see it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the exact same plot.
I feel like that plot is not.
Yeah, it's not unique, but yeah.
I just remember the Doc Hollywood thing where the girl comes out of the lake.
You would, you pervert.
And then she has the great line. She says, "You can close your mouth now." And he's just like,
Is that how James Woods was a good actor?
James Woods is still a good actor.
he's a great actor. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but he's okay.
Digstown, baby.
You know who James Woods is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was good in Digstown. Digstown is and Bruce Stern was good in Digstown as well.
Which one's James Wood? Is that old guy?
Go dig up a little James Woods.
He
stuff.
played
Oh,
Bjorn
yeah,
in
yeah,
he's
Hercules
lost his
television
mind.
or-
in
Oh
the
yeah,
last
he's all
few
right.
years.
Yeah, he's a good actor though.
He lost his mind in the last few years. I'll fully concur.
Has
but
he?
Yeah. Just Google it up. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
All right.
Leave it at that.
All right, then.
Moving on.
All right, here we go. Was commonly a part of weddings.
I don't want to take a stab so bad.
Do it. Stab it.
Nah,
You got.
play it safe.
Debuted in 1958.
Okay, glad I didn't guess.
Debut.
Was the B-side to Donna.
Oh,
Seen in
Hold it.
theaters. Go
Hold
ahead.
La Bamba.
Damn it, I was gonna
Bamba.
guess.
That is
La,
correct.
la,
Oh,
la,
Donna,
la,
yeah.
bamba.
Fuck, I was thinking Barry Manilow for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, Donna.
There's a guy called Joe Blow Videos, and he does a what the fuck happened to
Oh yeah, that's good.
and
good
he's got a
segment.
what the fuck happened to James Woods like 20-minute video.
Oh.
It's worth a watch.
For the watch.
Yeah. It's WTF happened to whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, he does good work. The Joe Blow guy.
I like his video game ones.
Yeah, that's also very good as well. So all right, here we go. Released. Let's see how many we got left here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 left. So it's anybody's game. Anybody's game. Let's see here. Released July 13th, 2001. Featured Bruiser. Based on an Amanda Brown novel. Connected to Harvard. A sequel was released in 2003. Final clue. Elle Woods was played by Reese.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde.
I would have never guessed that.
I like those movies.
Yep, they were good. Just a bend and snap.
What was I don't remember. Can't remember. Anyway.
Good
Yeah.
talk.
No, I was trying to
Yeah,
remember another movie like that was along those lines, and I mean, I don't know. I mean,
House Bunny.
House Bunny?
Yeah.
I thought House Bunny was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Donna.
All right, hurry up.
All right, here we go. Number 1. Connected to high school senior Christine McPherson. Her first name was Claudia. Held a prominent role from 1963 to 1969. Was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Greta Gerwig directed this 2017 film.
Barry.
Barry,
Lady Bird.
Lady Bird
Nice.
is correct.
Is that the one with the guy? Shia LaBeouf?
You want Larry?
The
Barry?
what's that?
You got it from you knew that Greta Garwick clue?
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't seem like a movie you would watch.
Jen.
Is that a good movie?
Jen. If you're
Is
into
it
that.
is
was
it rude? Is it rude to like when like my wife would be like turn on a movie that I have no interest in and like I'll like just fall asleep in like the first 15 minutes. It's just like, I feel bad.
Do it all the time.
What? Oh yeah,
I
just
fall
like
asleep all the time not watching movies.
Part of it was also
It's like a knockout drops for me. Even if it was a movie I want to like, I watched Asteroid City. Fell asleep half hour in.
Did you?
Don't you hate that too? Where you
Yeah.
fight
did you
it
go to
too,
did you
and you're
did
like,
you
"Ah, I
did you
wanna
like
watch
buy
this."
it or did you rent
Yeah,
it?
we rented on iTunes.
Yeah, I
Really?
need
You already
to.
can.
Yeah, you already can. I
Oh,
want
yeah,
to.
it was out instantly.
Oh, farce. Everything's like a month after it's out in the theater.
I mean, it was a week.
It's
Well, no,
ridiculous.
hey, put a pin in that because I want to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. Well, three left. Three left. It's
Three
anybody's
left.
game.
Anybody?
Was a member of the jury of the damned on a 1993 episode of The Simpsons. Is a part of folk poetry.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Gave her mother 40 whacks and gave her father 40 more. Yeah, there you go. Got away with murder.
I sure did.
They anyway, there you go. Oh, and by the way, hey, Aldi, I'm very thanks for telling me about Soulstone Survivors. That I've been that the Vampire Survivors ripoff slash Soulstone is the one where it has like the 20 different and you like it's like you level up your guy and it's like another one of those crazy bullet hell kind of games.
Is that the one? Is it called Soulstone Survivors?
Yeah, you told me about it.
I thought it was something else.
All right, we got two left. Barry, you need to run the table to tie Forrest, Matt, Aldi. If you get them both, you win. Forrest, if you get either of the last two, you win the whole you win the whole damn thing. So here you go.
Oh yeah, Soulstone Survivors is good.
Yes. I don't like the fact that the big bads that you unlock come out to that you have to kill to go up to the next level or whatever. They're always the same 5 big bads. I wish they changed those up a little bit. It's a little annoying. But anyway. All right, here, clue number 1. Appeared in a 2015 Hugh Jackman film. Clue number 2. Debuted in a 1904 play. Clue number 3. Released July 31st, 1987. Clue number 4. They don't age. Clue number 5. Features vampires. Final clue. In a 1991 Robin Williams film, they were led by Rufio.
Matt,
Aldi.
Matt.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys is
movie.
correct. So, Matt, you are now tied with Forrest Berry. You have lost, but you can be a kingmaker.
I can.
If Aldi, if you get the last one, you tie for the lead. Matt or Forrest, you get this one, you win. Here we go. No pressure,
No pressure.
especially on Barry.
Ooh, too soon.
Famously sung by Jack Jones. You're not a fan of Hook? Yeah, it's not a bad movie. Glenn Close had a very small cameo in that movie. He played a pirate. Number 2. Featured Hulk Hogan, Betty White, and Gene Kelly. Three. Known for the Pacific Princess.
Matt,
Damn it.
For the win.
the Love Boat.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Love Boat, not the Love Boat. So no, yeah. Matt with the big comeback.
Good
Uh,
game.
Good game.
That's actually
Did you have
sound
it,
like-
Forrest?
No, I had no idea what that one was.
Do you
No?
know what the Love Boat is?
I know it's a show. I never
Yeah.
watched it.
They're actually
It
sailing
was
the Love Boat
on right
again.
after Fantasy Island, or right before, one or the other.
I was just hoping Scott got it.
I will say for
It's
like
all honest.
when and I told the story before, but many years ago, I didn't get invited. Well, no, I was invited, but I didn't have any money, so I couldn't go. The family, basically the entire family except for me, went on a cruise, and I didn't go because I was like 22 and I had no money.
Oh,
And I didn't want to ask my mother for it. I was kind of stubborn. So but my brother was driving. It's more like 25, 26. But my brother was driving from Nevada to Florida. And because he had 3 kids and his wife and him, they basically brought their small camper. They were driving their small camper the whole way. And so they could have all their luggage and everything like that. And so and in like Louisiana, it broke down, stopped running. And they were like, and they had 22 hours to get to Florida to be there on time. And so he was scrambling for like renting a car, getting plane tickets, anything, and he just couldn't find anything to get him there, and he had no way. And the camper was busted. I mean, it was gonna multiple day repair to get it fixed and the whole 9 yards. Everybody's leaving when I'm telling my story, but anyway. No, and then somebody's funny. No, and then no, and so he even offered to like buy a car from a guy, and
I hit it 4 times before it clicked.
yeah, he offered to buy a car for a guy and everything like that. And I don't know how eventually he got there. I forget what he did. They finally found a place to rent, and they drove like a bat out of hell. And they're sitting there and they're trying to like get to the marina where they were boarding and the whole 9 yards. And like his entire family's freaking out because they're not going to get there and the boat's going to leave without him. And cell phones. And he was calling my mother the entire time. And my brother said to me, he's like, everybody else was freaking out and they were like, we're not going to make it. We're going to get left behind. And he said, he's like, you don't have any faith in my mother. And I was like, there is no way that boat is going to leave without us. It's like, and like, sure enough, as they were racing up the gangplank, and like, it was like almost an hour late in departure. My mother was standing 1 foot on the boat, 1 foot on the gangplank, just like standing there and was not moving, waiting for them to show up, and like standing there and like the reading thing people, and here they come running up, and he was like, no chance. There was no chance on earth that my mom was that our mother was gonna let us leave. So
Sorry, I had to go pee and I couldn't wait anymore.
no, you're fine.
Sure, Matt.
Yeah, no, so yeah, that's the Love Boat. I've never been on a cruise, and I have really no interest in going on a cruise.
No, me neither.
If
I
John
just-
didn't get a paid trip, I probably wouldn't be.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, if it was free, I'd go. But I mean,
Yeah.
But I mean, also, I mean, my wife has zero interest, and I'm not going to go on a cruise without my wife. So I mean, it's just kind of like, I don't know.
I'm not a big water person to begin with. Yeah,
I like fishing. I went fishing last weekend with my dad.
I'd rather do it on a lake or in the river instead of
Well, yeah, I
the
agree
ocean.
with
I mean,
It was fishing on a lake, and I can see the land, and I'm pretty sure I could swim the 300 feet to shore. Anyway, so movies. We were going to talk about movies. Like you were just saying, you were watching whatchamadick on thing. So look at everybody's saying that, like, obviously the Indiana Jones. I haven't seen these movies, so don't give me any
No.
spoilers. But the Indiana Jones movie didn't do as well as everybody had hoped.
No.
The Mission Impossible movie didn't do as well as everybody hoped. It's like movies, even big movies, like things that are like, and this is
I think
not.
Barbie's gonna kill it.
You think so?
Oppenheimer is going to
But
save the industry.
I don't think
Yes.
either of those movies are going to kill it. Not like it
No.
used to. The days of the, I mean, everybody was like, when Top Gun came out and it was like making all that money and everything like that. I mean, everybody was like, it's the return of the blockbuster. And then like, here comes Mission Impossible. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just,
Oh, really? Is it underperforming?
it's underperforming. Yeah. And so,
It could also be just like a boring franchise.
It
well, I
could
mean,
be,
but
yeah,
every
yeah.
other movie that's
Beat the
called
hell.
for it has just been like, you know, money hand over
I
fist.
just have
kind
no
of.
desire to watch any of them.
No,
I mean, I like
I
the
mean,
Top
I
Gun.
remember I watched like the first.
I mean, Top Gun was fine, but I wasn't like, oh my god, it's so great.
I watched.
You're a
the
big
first
action movie buff, Scott.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
love
I
it.
don't know. My opinion is this: is that, and I've said this before, and you guys have completely trashed this opinion. I've said in 5 years, movie theaters just won't be a thing. They will be
I agree.
like they will be a complete and total like niche thing that people do. It'll be more of a what I see in the future for movie theaters is there will be a kind of switch to here's your private viewing experience for you and like 20 of your friends kind of thing, where you go. You have a
That's
large
gonna be
screen.
hard to sustain though, because
There might be, but I mean, but that's like the only thing I could see. It would have to be some sort of like movie on demand service where like you do it and you go there and there's like maybe food that you order or things like that. So it's more of a.
I feel like the D&D movie had it right with that swag. Like the only reason I went to that movie in the theater was because I wanted that fucking D20.
Oh,
Believe me, I would have poo-pooed it. I would have been like,
it?
no, I thought it was great. But I wanted the D20.
COVID, movie theaters just haven't come back. I mean, it's just like because nobody wants to go and watch a movie anymore. And the days of the
It was mostly full. It was like,
well, yeah, but I mean, but the days of the $200 million budget movie, they're gone. I mean, these
I don't.
You know what
agree
I
with that.
hope? I
Well-
really hope that this way of the dinosaur momentum for movies makes way for the art house movies to come back.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, the thing is that
I want them back too, but
I do too. But so, like, I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of you, but I look right over there, and I basically have a wall of my house that has a TV on it, and it has surround sound, and it has, and is it? No, it is not the same. It is not the same as seeing a giant movie screen. I'll say that all day long. But for me, and like when I've got a recliner couch that I can sit there with like all the members of my family, and we can turn on a movie and we can eat the food we want to eat. We can watch it, and like Scott said, yeah, I'll just rent this movie or buy it
I also
for
don't
$20.
like-
I was one of those people disagreeing with you, and after looking at the numbers, I still disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm still gonna
Strongly.
disagree with it. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think you're full of shit.
for me. Hollywood is they're making shit. That's basically the
well,
problem.
everybody's on strike now, so
Well, that
The box
too.
office-
you're not going to eat movies for like 6 to 8 months.
The box office so far
No,
this
we
year
will.
is
It's
at
just-
$9 billion, and
catch
in
up.
2018 it was $11.9 billion.
Yeah.
We still have the Christmas season.
Yeah, it's just the last run of Marvel movies weren't that great for the most part. I mean, people burn out on Marvel to begin with. you know.
That Secret Wars, though, I'm digging that.
So am I. So am I.
The Secret Invasion or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, Secret
Yeah,
Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Me and my family have been. We really are digging that.
So here's the thing about
What are your
movies-
daughter? She really likes it.
I don't care. She's a baby. Who cares?
You said your family, that includes her. So I'm just asking what are her thoughts on it?
There's
All
a
she
few
does
different-
during when we watch TV is bring me books. Then I read her books. Then she goes away for a couple minutes and brings me another book. I'll read it to her quietly while we watch.
Here's my take on the whole movie.
So she doesn't really like it then. She's not.
Lance
really
doesn't care.
She's not
apparently.
interested in it yet. The TV.
So I guess you were wrong
Adam's
to
trying to
say
make
your
a
entire
point.
family is digging it then.
I hate you, Lance.
Why is
Well-
he? It's his
Well,
family.
no, I mean,
what do you care?
would you agree that statement is incorrect?
I'm
then?
sorry I made your point look like shit by bringing up the numbers, Lance. Next
that-
time
that's- that's not
we'll just
even-
talk
that's
about
not-
our feelings.
That's not even congruent to what I'm stating. I'm just saying. So you agree that your statement of your family is digging it would be false at this point?
No, I wouldn't. 80% of my family, and I round up.
No,
You round down?
didn't say that. You did not. Your statement taken as a whole would be 100%. My family, meaning all of my family, is digging, but we've now proven that one of them is not.
Okay.
Well, that's certainly
Stop.
open for interpretation.
Hurry up, Matt, before he cuts you out again.
Nope, forget it.
No, okay,
I want
Matt,
to hear
go
what you have
ahead.
to say, Matt.
Fuck you, Lance.
So-
I'm out. Is that what you're saying, Matt?
I worked at a cinema for 10 years. From 1987, 88. And like off and on for 10 years for probably about the next 12 years or whatever. And when I came in to work at a movie theater, you bought your ticket for $8 Canadian. You had the choices of getting popcorn, soft drinks, and candy. That's it at the concession. And then you'd go see your movie. There was no DTS, there was no THX, there was none of that stuff. It was just like it was 35 mil, and sometimes some of our theaters in town had 70, which was the widescreen.
Right.
It was cool. It was good. It was grainy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The next 10 years, you slowly saw new things happen. My first movie I saw in the movie theater that was digital sound was Jurassic Park with DTS. And slowly things started getting added to the theater experience, some of which were fine. Others, in my opinion, kind of took away from the theater going experience.
Such as
Getting hot dogs and nachos and all that bullshit. No, I don't think so. Not in my purest experience of I love going to the movie theater and just sitting there. I could be a shitty fucking theater. As long as I'm in a theater, it's my solace. It's my happy place.
same.
You know, I mean, is there a spectacle of like when I went and saw Maverick with the Screen X with the side panels that they would project onto? That was pretty fantastic, I gotta say. But I would rather go see something like that in the venue of like Universal Studios than I would rather go to a movie theater to see.
I get what you're saying.
Where it's the fanfare is expected there. Maybe I'm just being an old fuddy-duddy, but
You are.
that's kind of. Am I very?
No, I see what you're saying. They did. They had recliners and the.
I don't know. I
widescreen.
just think
Yeah,
they were trying to keep up with all the technology,
Yeah.
and they lost something of what made it special to me.
yeah.
So far as what did you say the numbers are at? You said there was 9 billion this year.
Adjusted for inflation, yeah. I can show you the link I found.
So I'm looking at worldwide yearly box office according to Box Office Mojo, and we're at 4.993 million so far this year.
Billion or million?
4.993, and 2019 was 11.3 billion. So
Billion or
Yeah,
billion.
that's
billion. Yeah. All right. So what'd you say? 4.9.
4.9.
So it'll be
let me go back through my
9.8.
history. I'll send the
9.8
link.
if it were
Have you
double.
seen the Asteroid City there, Lance?
I have not. I just haven't had a chance to go see anything. I've been super busy with my entire house being flooded. Yeah.
Little things.
It's not as good as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, Wes is losing
little-
his.
It's almost like a little too much Wes Anderson, if that can be a thing.
That can definitely be a thing.
It's a thing in that movie.
That's like
I was
every
hoping
quote
for a little-
says.
What's that?
That's like what every quote I saw for that movie was. It's the most Wes Anderson
It's
movie ever.
it's very much Wes Anderson, and it's not good sometimes. Like it just didn't get me, didn't grab me. Although I only watched about an hour of it or 45 minutes of it, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up at the end.
It's not a fair review.
It's not a fair review, but I can tell you that I was not engaged for those first 45 minutes. Maybe for like a minute I was engaged, but then I lost it.
So it's a fair review.
So your link is ridiculous. Go ahead and just actually, because they actually total up the amount for every year.
So does this
2000
one.
straightforward?
Oh, this one goes from 1995 straightforward.
Well, no,
Well-
but I mean, but this one is actually like every dollar that was spent. So there's and Box Office Mojo is like, it tracks all. It's been tracking this shit for real.
I know.
For like,
I use Box Office Mojo,
yeah. So I
but the
think your link
numbers
is
looks
full of
legit
shit.
too. Okay, you could think that.
Okay.
I think your
It's
link
like
is. Well, I'm not going to insult your link. 'cause I
Well,
love
Mission
Box Office
Impossible made
Mojo.
54.7 million. That's not a good opening weekend.
What is
I
that?
think I said
Scott?
it was 80 grand total after the 5 days because it was like a longer one. I know it hit 5 million, 80 million in 5 days. Okay.
Because I mean, seriously, like this would this would say, like, if this number is what it is, and I'd have to do some research into this, is like by this estimation, like they have all the same numbers as Box Office Mojo, like right alongside, but there's what, a $4 billion difference. This is an estimation number, I believe. I'm gonna guess that this is what their estimation is going to be for 2023 by the end of the year. This is like a prognostication.
Well, that's not what it
Because-
says.
Well, but there's no way that they're this accurate for every single one, and then this last
Right.
one they're off by
Does it really
4.
fucking matter
like-
when you're?
No, it
Jesus
really does matter
Christ.
when you have two sites that every single category down the line are
Welcome
pretty
to
much
the internet.
pretty much exactly the same, and then you get to the last one, and they're like, "We're off by 4 billion." Just like-
Sounds like the U.S. government, bro.
yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's what the estimation is, or what they will see as, like, by the end of the year. It will
How much
be
did they
X.
say? What was it? The number you had?
4.993.
Oh, that's totally off. Like I'm looking at a different site, which is just the global gross for like the top 20 movies, and it's definitely more than 4.3. I mean, Super Mario hit 1.3. Guardians of the
1.3,
Galaxy puts you up to 2.1. Fast X puts you at 2.7. Spider-Man Little Mermaid puts you at 3.7. Ant-Man puts you at 4. Then you add John Wick, Transformers, Creed, you're up to 5. Flash, Dungeon, Scream, Evil Dead, Shazam, Elementals will get you up to 6.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm
Point
pretty sure
proven.
yours is full
Moving
of
on.
shit.
Come on.
Yeah, I think yours is because I'm already up to 6 million, and we're only
Are
up
you
to the
doing
top.
worldwide there? Or
Well, yeah, we're just talking about movie grosses.
No, I'm not though. I'm talking about.
Are you moving the goalpost, or we just talk about America
you
now,
need,
Lance?
you need domestic because theaters are a domestic thing.
There's theaters all over the world. We're just talking about. You said theaters were going to die. He
In
didn't say
America.
specifically theaters in America. He did not say theaters in America.
I'm sorry if that wasn't when I didn't make that specification, but I was rounding up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't confer with my 1-year-old daughter whether or not she wanted like the first Phase 5 Marvel series.
Just admit you were wrong and your link is garbage. Because
I'm pretty sure I literally just counted the top 15 movies and it totaled up to more than $4.5 billion. Like those are hard numbers.
Are we not in phase like 25 of Marvel yet?
5. Secret Invasion is the first part of 5.
And how many of the last one do you remember?
I am so done with Marvel stuff.
I like
Yeah.
Ant-Man 3.
I did
But
not.
yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Everything's shit. You know, every
I
Disney
stopped
movie
watching-
that just came out failed because they're nonsense. You know,
Although I heard
however many-
Guardians was pretty good. I've not seen it yet.
I like Guardians 3. We went and saw it in the theater. We liked it.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to see Barbie at some point. I want to see Oppenheimer.
I think
Yeah.
those
I
are
want
all
to see it
big
in
numbers.
IMAX, and I don't think that's going to happen. I checked the theater for all next week, and they're all every day sold out every hour of the day,
You got the following week, Scott.
except for the front row.
Yeah, I want to see that in IMAX.
Yeah, there's only one IMAX theater in Dallas.
Really?
That stinks.
Well, I mean, do you have IMAX theaters?
I think we got 2.
I do up in Wilmington, yeah.
You got the IMAX? Okay.
Not in my town. I'm a small town, but yeah, if I go up to Wilmington or down to Baltimore, yeah.
Granted, there's not much to do in where I live, so that might be why.
Where do you?
Fort Wayne, Indiana, the second largest city in
There's an
Indiana.
IMAX in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah, pretty sure we have 2.
Where are you, Forrest?
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
You're in Fort Wayne. Okay.
Is it a true?
Was that
IMAX?
close to Indianapolis?
It's about 90 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh no, we only have 1 now. Okay, we only have 1. But yeah, it's a true one. I've seen tons of stuff there.
Okay. Yeah, looks like you got one.
So if somebody asked me for my references of games I've worked on, should I just send them my BGG link?
Yeah.
Or why not?
Mhm.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I did. I just
Well, then why'd you ask?
Sure, it's not
no. I mean,
illegal.
was I stupid to do that, or is it?
No, I think that's the best way to do it. Oh, can I talk about a game? I played a game tonight.
No.
And I actually really enjoyed it.
What?
that?
Game?
Yeah.
What are they?
Race
This is
to the
games
Raft.
that you speak of.
Race to
Oh
the
yeah.
Raft?
How is that?
I
Uh,
really enjoyed it. It gives me crew vibes in the way
Oh,
the game is
cats.
structured. But it's a polyomino game where you're trying to get these cats escape from fire. But it's like if you like the crew, like the basic concept of like, playing like this shorter game and it just progressively gets more difficult and adds more stuff into it. I like it a lot. I see this one hitting
You
our
back
table
that?
a lot. No, they sent me one.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, Forrest, God damn it. I'm gonna make you go to this other link on the exact same thing that you used.
Does it matter?
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because he's
This is
wrong.
why you're stressed out.
Because he's absolutely wrong.
Does
Go to
anyone-
that link, and it just says total box office
conversation is
gross
10 minutes old.
4.9 billion. It says it right there.
What's gross?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Forrest, just
Lack
agree
of
with him so we
knowledge,
move
that's
on.
what's gross.
Wait. No, this says Super Mario Brothers at 573 million. It's made over $1 billion. Riddle me that, Batman.
4.9 billion, not million.
4.9 billion. This is
Mario's made over $1 billion. This literally says right here, Mario
That's
made
domestic. That's domestic.
bingo. Yeah, get out of here, Lance, with that.
no, but this is
Numbers.com.
and I was
That's garbage.
talking. That is off of numbers.com.
Domestic.
That link I just gave you, that is the domestic
I don't
amount,
see why you think
4.9 billion.
Why are we
International
only
numbers
looking at the-
matter in America.
Because we're
Because
talking
that's
about
what
cinema.
Because that's what I care about, is that I'm talking about in the United States in
You're
about
moving the
5 years.
goalposts. You're
I'm not moving the
goalposts.
goalposts. The goalposts were set up where I started in the very beginning of the
We're not even
goddamn
playing the
thing.
same damn sport at this point. You've moved the goalposts so far. At no point did you mention United States of America in that.
It was but as you said, that was what I meant. That was what I was getting at.
Well, then I would absolutely still disagree with you, but I would say your numbers are more correct. If that's what you're trying to say.
What game were we talking about?
Race to the Raft. Yeah,
Oh.
I see this one hitting my table quite a lot. Like,
What's your thoughts on the FTC disclosure? They came out with like a new guidance.
what's that old hand gesture? Whatever. I fixed it so it says assume every single copy is a review copy, but I doubt there's going to be anything out of that. I saw some people like, yeah, everybody needs to do this. You're going to get in trouble. Like, yeah, whatever.
The FTC is never going to come down on like some
Oh, yeah.
we got to go after these guys with 12,000, I mean, the thing that I do see a lot of people do, and this is big YouTube channels do, like when they have but they do say today's sponsor is this, and so if you say that but they don't click on the little button to say paid content or whatever to appear on their video. but I'm sure but I think the whole thing is that when you say it's like, hey, and here's today's sponsor is, manscaping or whatever, and then they talk about that thing for like 2 minutes and, try to convince you to like, if you go there and input my coupon code of you suck, they'll, I don't know. It's just, so I do wonder about that because I know you're supposed to click on that, but maybe you can just get by it and it's fine and, whatever. I don't know. What do I know?
What do you guys think about the final totals for the Gloomhaven 2 or the Gloomhaven?
Oh my god, they got to be so disappointed.
Oh,
Like, especially when
Disappointed with
Frosthaven.
$5 million.
Oh my god, yes. When Frosthaven made 13 million and they threw out all the stops, they got the minis. They got the minis for Jaws of the Lion. They got the second edition. They got that little button game. They got the RPG. There is no chance in hell they were expecting $5 million. No way.
What do you think
Backer
they're
kit.
expecting?
more.
I don't know, but way more than that.
Hmm.
Like it was just.
Do you think Kickstarter would have done better?
No.
Oh, yeah,
No.
100%.
They would have made more money. They would have made more money on Kickstarter, in my opinion. But here's what I think happened. And I have no inside knowledge, and this is just me saying this because this is what I'm deciding because of the fact that I've been publishing board games now for 8 years or whatever. Is that when they had the opening thing where they basically said, "Oh, you people that have the old version."
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they had that thing where it's like people are saying, "Oh, well, can I get an upgrade pack, or will there be something where?" And then they basically said, "No, there won't be." And all these people are like, "Well, that's kind of a big, fuck you to my face, that
I
I
got stuck.
And then they changed their mind because they probably had,
Right, but no one heard that probably.
Yeah, they changed their mind. They said, actually, we're going to actively look at ways for you to have some sort of thing.
It's so hard
But
to get people to
you
leave.
start off right away, like punching somebody in the mouth. And then those people are like, I was going to get this, but I haven't even completed Gloomhaven. I've got Frosthaven, or I don't even have Frosthaven yet because there's a lot of people out there that are still waiting for it. I don't even have my Frosthaven yet. I've got enough game already. I don't need this at this time. I don't need to get it.
I don't see backer kit lasting longer than Game Found. Like it was, what was it? I was looking at Drinking Quest, which they've ran 14 successful Kickstarters. They ran a Game Found, completely flopped, went back to
What about
Kickstarter.
Game Count, not backer kit.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think backer kit's going to die, like on crowdfunding, at least before Game Found does. I think Game Found will eventually go away too when it comes to doing that. I think Kickstarter's just going to kick the shit out of everybody in the end. But yeah, they funded day one on Kickstarter. Like, and then what is it? Like, I don't know. Also, is Greater Than Games, are they going through some stuff right now? Does anybody know?
I know one company
they
that's
were
going through some
acquired.
stuff right now.
Who's that?
Keymaster.
Keymaster. Oh, they do that. Yeah, they do that one shitty card game. I hate
Are you the gatekeeper?
Keymaster Games. What's Keymaster Games? What's up with them?
There's some internal stuff going on.
Well, that's
Campy
ominous.
Creatures. That's it.
What was
I
that?
like that game.
I don't like it.
Which
I
game?
like it. It's fun.
I think if it had ugly art, nobody'd talk about it ever.
I don't think so.
What was the name?
You want to fight in the streets about it?
Campy
Yes.
Creatures.
Oh, Campy Creatures.
Don't make
Oh,
Matt
they did
pull up
they did more
stats,
than that.
Forrest.
They did more than that.
Parks.
Yeah, they got Capers. Capers is good. I like
And
Capers.
Parks is good. Space Camp, Space something is
Yeah,
okay.
I know what you're talking about.
No, but I was looking at I did their Kickstarter today for Greater Than Games new game they got on backer kit, and it was terrible.
Oh, really?
It was so amateur. They don't mention the artist, they don't mention the designer, they didn't have a gameplay video, they didn't have a preview, they didn't have quotes. Their video literally is 90 seconds of like, hey, we're grilling at a barbecue, and it's like it was just
Sounds like
astoundingly bad.
Sounds like a TMG special.
Yeah, it does.
No response from Lance.
I know. Hey, the weird thing is that our shipping and logistics and project manager Aaron Wolf at TMG is going to he's attending Gen Con just because he moved to Bloomington, and
B-Town.
and then me and him and Andy Van Zant. So like,
Wait. Oh my God. Is that the guy that made Bottle Cap Vikings?
I believe so. Yes.
Wow. Name
Yes.
drop.
What do you?
Yeah. But no, so yeah, so that's like 60% of the TMG crew, and we'll
Put
be
the
at
band back
Gen Con.
together.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna
Okay.
go and we're gonna grab a meal together and just basically, have long, slow, sad talks about.
What could have been?
Yeah, I mean,
What
actually,
was, what
when
could have
Aaron
been?
called me, I ended up on the phone with him for about an hour and a half. We were just laughing. I mean, and like it was good laughter, and it wasn't at anybody's expense. It was just we were just laughing about like some of the crazy shit that happened, and like some of the people we had to deal with that weren't within the company, like a-holes that we dealt with, and how much we despise certain designers, and how much we just people just drove us crazy, and yeah. So it'll be
Good
a
times.
fun little. Yeah, I look forward to seeing them both. I mean it. Yeah, I mean, and I remember when the three of us went to, God, what convention was it? I think it might have been Geekway, or it might have been a BGG con, and we were there and we went out to grab a meal together. It was just three of us. And this is when we were all TMG was still alive, and this is like about 9-10 months before I was let go. And I remember sitting there, we were just eating a meal at some bar restaurant type place, and I remember looking on both, and I was like, I'm really worried about the direction this company's going right now. And they were just both aghast. They're like, "Oh, what are you talking about? We're fine. This company's fine. We're just doing this, and I think this is awesome." And I was just like, "I don't know, guys. I think that I think the oars aren't hitting the water anymore."
I mean, in all seriousness, I don't think you guys made enough small box card games.
Yeah.
That was the
Not
You
a
needed
call.
more stuff like Three-Headed Monster, Lance.
No, that game was a pile.
I remember you showing me that, and I was like, where's the fucking game?
I was just like, I don't know.
So-
I remember I literally had when I left the convention, like we had a box of that sitting there. Like we couldn't give it away. And Michael told me just to throw it away. And I ended up actually like grabbing most of them and just shoving them into my luggage. And then when I went to Con of the North, I just threw them all on a table, like just saying, and I just said, and I put a little post-it that said free games. And like, and I remember like 2 or 3 days left of it, like it looked like
Still there.
the pile, like a lot of it went, and then a lot of them came back.
So here's the was it? Were you guys thinking it was like Gold Rush and like you just print anything, it'll sell?
I
Like
mean,
that
there was a
mentality.
little so I mean to use an allegory that might not be apparent for most people.
Big word.
Yes, so yeah, it's a sports allegory, and you're not going to know who the person is, but I mean, there was a the Minnesota Vikings had a long line of like defensive ends or tackles that were like going to be Hall of
lost me.
Famers. They were going to be Hall of Fame players, and so like John Randall was our like defensive tackle. He went to the Hall of Fame, right? He was just one of the, and so when he got older, we drafted this young stud by the name of Chris Hovan, and like under John Randall's tutelage, he had like 2 or 3 great seasons of being a defensive tackle in the NFL. And he was showing up in commercials, and people were talking about him, and they were saying how amazing he was and how this guy was like a genetic freak, and like just like he was going to transcend the game. And then all of a sudden it was like he just hit a wall, and it was just like it was like escalate, and then just and then he was gone. He was out of the league. Like, and every single coach said he was better than everybody else, and then everybody else caught up to him, and he never got any better. And everybody else got better while he stayed the same. So the allegory there is that TMG was making games that were better than most of the other games that were coming out, or Michael was finding games that nobody knew about that, like, and getting them signed, like being the US distributor of Orleans, which was a great game, being the US distributor for Yokohama, which is a good game, things like that. He was tracking down these games that nobody knew existed, and because he was able to find them. Well, as soon as people started making a lot of money on Kickstarter, people that also were like, I want to make a lot of money on Kickstarter. And then it was instead of like showing up at a place and like showing up at Essen and tracking down the good game, you were in competition with 10 other people tracking down that. Instead of having no competition, all of a sudden now you've got a dozen people trying to find that great game. And it's tough. And yeah, I mean, there's people out there that are making great games. I mean, there's hacks too, like that After the Empire piece of garbage. There's total hacks, but I mean, no, there's more and more people making great games, but then there's also more and more people making games that are just kind of average and that are good. They're good enough. Just like
they get the fucking job.
Get the fucking job done, right?
After the Empire.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, and so that's what happened with TMG. And it was one of those things where I think Michael thought he could take his hands off the wheel, and it was going to be a company that kind of just ran itself, and he should have just stayed in control. And then they would have, because he had a pretty good eye for tracking down games and figuring out which was good and what.
Oh, hey, Evan.
What up, buddy?
But anyway,
just creeping.
That's shush, Kabuki Kid. Oh, good, a sports allegory. Didn't know what he'll get. Anyway,
I gotta say that was a pretty deep cut there. I mean, normally I could follow you on those sports ones, but that was a real deep cut.
I had the pleasure of working on one TMG game, two TMG games actually.
Oh, what were they?
Embark, which was one of the games in the whole Harbor series.
And I don't know why we didn't put that in a bigger box. That.
Oh my god, that box is like not big enough.
We crammed that game in that box.
Yep.
It was
like that game was pretty okay.
When you took the shrink wrap off, it was like
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was okay.
I enjoyed it. And then Chrono Corsairs.
Yeah.
What was that, Matt?
Chrono Corsairs.
The game that needed another hour at 350 degrees, but they were like, just print it, make the money. I remember playing that. I remember
How do you spell that?
Chrono
CHRONO
Corsairs.
Oh wait, was that the time traveling one?
Yeah.
That one looked
The
fun.
time loop one.
Oh, it sucked.
So I remember.
Ooh, 19,600 ranking. Oh, that's rough. That's real rough.
So I remember having a conversation at one point where with the people at TMG, and I remember saying to Seth and Michael, I was like, I have played like 1,000 games. I kind of know what's good or bad if you want to listen to what I have to say. And they said, when we want your opinion on a game, we will show it to you. Was the response I got.
Really?
I was like, okay.
Go back to your work. We don't need you.
Yeah. So when Chrono Corsairs when they finally they had talked about how like they had played this game at Gen Con, and they weren't going to sign any games, but this one was just too good to pass up. It was amazing, and then they were like going to work on it and this, that, and that. And then I remember I went to some I don't even know what it was anymore, and I went to something, and they were like, oh hey, now it's like we want to show you the game or whatever. And I was like, cool. And I got to like the second or the third round of it, and I was like pointing out several things that were like, yeah, this doesn't work right, and this doesn't seem to really. This is just way too clunky, and this isn't. And then I got this look of like not like, oh, these are like good ideas. It was more of, I got this look of like, why are you harshing my marshmallow here? You know, just like you really like this, and you're saying it isn't any good, and I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you say the game is good. Yeah. That game.
Oh, hey, Evan, congrats on the speed dating.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
It'll be fun.
I'm gonna have a good time. I'm excited to go. You know me, I like a shindig.
You doing the publisher speed dating, or are you cheating?
What?
They're all both.
Yeah, I'm doing it. It'll be a blast. Look forward to it.
I've always wanted to know what that was like. It's I look forward to hearing what you have to say about that.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good time.
So these are like 3-minute dates.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be pretty quick. It's basically I've got my foot in the door, here's my card. Let's talk later about your concept. I'd love to hear more about it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you better not go to Evan because you suck at explaining their games, man.
It is actually true.
You're the worst.
That is actually true. Sometimes it works. We'll see. Let's see how it goes.
Sure, Sicily,
I'm
94.
I'm too understated. I'm like, I don't know. It's a game. You might like it. It gets the fucking job done. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you like it? What do you think? I don't know.
I just make them.
It might be garbage. Who knows? There's no way to know.
Yeah. Just buy the damn thing.
Just buy the. I don't know. Put it out. See what happens.
All right, I'm gonna skedaddle, folks. Have a great night.
Oh, because Evan showed up and he smells.
Like
It is-
Pepe Le Pew.
It is 80 degrees inside right now in my apartment. Although Scott, you're probably pretty warm in there too. I'm guessing
Is it 9:48 or 10:48 for you right now, Evan?
it's 9:48 for me.
Oh,
It is
so you're
11:48 for me.
It's actually not too bad right now, but it's
Really?
I think
Good.
104 or 102.
Now?
No, now it's like 80 something.
I was gonna
Wait, it's
say,
12:48 for me. Is it 1:48 for you, Barry?
No, it's 12:48.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. See, it's
We're
late.
all
It's
days
late for the
different.
three of us. I'm going to bed. So it's 19 degrees Celsius right here. What is it? Hold
So
on.
Forrest, let me ask you a
66 right
question. What area of
Sounds nice.
the United States would it be 148?
The US?
I don't know.
Maine?
Greenland.
No, I don't
Do
think
you
Maine-
truly believe
Sure.
that Greenland is a
New-
state?
Newfoundland.
Nah, man.
No,
it's,
actually,
it's a
funnily
settlement.
enough, Newfoundland is an hour and a half.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's weird.
That's how Canadian is that?
Yeah, I don't,
No, I remember the what was it? The
New Brunswick
all
and
the ni-
Halifax.
all the
are
9/11 people landed, right?
what's that?
What? That's dark.
You know, all the flights in 9/11 all flew. That were
Yeah,
doing-
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's a whole musical about it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
For
Oh, yeah,
Hawaii?
yeah.
Pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you
pretty
guys
good.
ever watched that documentary about the Nazi outpost in Newfoundland that they because they basically they
You can make that up.
no
Yeah.
seriously Google it, like there was like up until like almost the very end of World War II there was like this weird secret
Huh.
outpost of Nazis that basically found a spot in Newfoundland where they
Newfoundland, like Telegram.
Newfound yeah
Newfoundland, like Telegram.
Newfoundland. Who are you gonna believe? No,
I'm gonna believe Matt.
so they
I've played thousands of games.
but no, like they basically a submarine dropped them off, and they basically camped out, and they were there to like report on the weather basically, and to let people know like as far as, and they really, and then eventually like I forget if they got picked up and they abandoned it, or if they actually finally got found and captured, or they like just surrendered
Yep.
Where was
Still cold up here.
Still cool.
Where was it?
in Canada
Where?
on the eastern side.
So, in a similar vein, during the Second World War, in Alberta, I think it was, they had
That's Alberta.
they had this thing called If Day, where they took a small town in Alberta and they basically refaced everything as if the Nazis had taken over.
Huh.
They put out new like a special newspaper as if it was like a Third Reich press and all this stuff, just to scare the bejesus out of the to kind of like bolster the war effort to like, we got to fight these guys.
Oh, I was like, aspirational?
No, it
It was
was
like cautionary.
It was like, you need
Sounds very
to buy
Canadian.
some more. You need to buy some more war bonds. Is what it was.
Oh, I see.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
That doesn't surprise me. The U.S. had dozens of Nazi bases, throughout
Yeah, it's probably
the
true.
30s and 40s. Yeah.
It's probably true.
Searching for lost Cthulhu relics and
Yes. They actually tried to blow up New York Harbor once.
Evan, I will see you and Lance and Forrest in
Again.
2 weeks.
Hey, next week is the Gen Con preview. You want to show up for that? Where we talk?
Yeah, probably. Actually, I'll probably see you guys then.
We'll talk about all the games that
Do
are
some
coming
homework.
out.
I've not looked at anything.
No, yeah. I don't know
I
what's going
briefly perused them today.
I'm looking at him
And-
right now.
Oh, we're doing a bunch of demos of Daggerheart. That's going to be awesome.
What's Daggerheart?
Yeah, what's
Daggerheart is the new RPG from Darrington Press.
on. Oh, right.
Oh, by the way, Chad Roberts is running for any judge. So if anyone wants to vote for him,
We already went through that.
What's any
did
Yeah,
judge?
we already went through that.
you did that already?
Yeah, but you weren't here yet.
What's any judge?
Oh, early. Okay.
Yeah.
Any,
people
any.
Ennies are basically the Spiel des
Oh,
Jahres.
Ennies,
for-
the Ennies. I think is that like kind of like Buddha Judge, but a little bit.
Any judge. Any.
Buddha judge.
I
Can
think
we vote on it right now?
Kabuki put the
Yeah.
link in the chat.
You only get one vote
Sure.
though, so make it
Yeah.
count.
Can somebody post the chat? I don't have the chat. Can somebody post a link?
Rock
Search
the
for
vote,
Ennies.
as they say.
Any-
Rock
Right.
the vote.
Night all.
Good night, sir.
Matt.
Good night, Matthew.
Doodles.
The innies.
It is better than the outies.
Yeah, when we won our Annie, I thought we won second place, and I ran up there and like, you remember that?
Yeah, that's a great story. Uh,
I'm an idiot. And then when I went back to sit down, I'm like, wait, this is first place or whatever. Like I was like, what gives?
Thanks, everybody. Congratulations.
But I mean,
to
here's the thing.
winner.
The second place guy gave a speech like he won. So I was just thinking, oh, they don't do that. Like that's the first place one, and then they do the second place. Well, I mean, I've never seen it before. But I mean, he gave like a 10-minute speech.
He
I
was
was like,
proud coming in second.
I saw like, I don't know. I just ran up there and I don't know. I said something stupid, pithy.
Mhm.
Thanks. Hope you like it. See ya.
Something like that.
you still
That's
have
my
the
style.
award?
Yeah.
Hanging
I
up.
could have
for the-
upgraded to get the better medal, but I'm like, eh.
Well, you got to pay for the award?
Yeah, you had to buy an upgrade if you wanted a new one.
Oh, okay.
You guys gonna have any last light at Gen Con, or is that
Yes, he's gonna have many copies.
No, not many. There'll
Make
be
sure you
maybe,
rush to
maybe
the
a couple
booth.
hundred
Many,
total. We got to
many.
figure out
That
how we're
sounds like a
gonna.
lot.
We're trying to decide if we're going to ration them. We got to ration them because
So
we
what-
don't want to.
so
we don't
what,
want to sell
Kickstarter
out by the
backers
first
don't get
day.
them?
So
Can you pick up your Kickstarter back in there?
no, you may not
You're
because
doing what I hate.
we're air
You're
freighting
doing
these
exactly
in and
what I
we're
hate.
charging. No, but we're charging like way more money than any of our backers. So it's going to be it's going to be a
Right.
premium purchase. And
$1
there aren't going to
million
be a lot of extras anyway. So if you, like I said, if you want to,
It works out for you.
Yep.
it's just the worst.
I mean, here's
You
the
won't,
thing.
you
I
won't
don't
even
like-
email. You won't
I
even
already am
email
on
a
record.
company if you haven't gotten your thing. Yeah, it's
I'm-
like, oh,
I'm already on record stating my minor nitpick with this. Selling your game that you basically kickstarted or crowdfunded to people who didn't give a shit.
on our Kickstarter or GameFound page, it specifically states that
Oh
we
my.
may sell.
I can't change what I feel, Lance.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, but it isn't like we're
And
doing
that's
it
just
like
you
out of the
guys
blue.
covering your ass. That's not.
It's fine. You got to do what you got to do.
It is. It would. We would lose money by not having it there to show off to the most gamers ever.
Okay.
Is Gen Con supposed to be that big this year?
It is the most highly concentrated amount of like your people that you're going to have to sell
Oh.
to.
I got you. I thought you meant like specifically this year. But you never mind.
I would like to see some accounting with the Gen Con people who make, expense versus profit.
Oh no, you're lucky if you break even, unless you just have like something that
What's
You
the
know-
point then? Breaking even ain't good.
because people see the game for sale, they wish they had it, and they go home and they buy it. And you can't really track
That's the
that.
logic. Okay.
I mean, that's the thing that you just can't track, right? So
Okay.
Sure can't.
Mr. ROI,
Mhm.
yeah.
your Facebook ad.
Oh yeah. No. Our guy.
ROI, right? You
No,
track
no. So no, our social media guy has like actually like we will be looking at using BGG for
Oh, I'm not
next-
speaking for that. I mean, I was just wondering, like, the Facebook ads work for you. I spend a lot of money on Facebook ads and I don't think it's worth it all.
Hmm.
Now, our ads are not great. I feel like they could be better, but they're not terrible. Anyway, I know people click on stuff and don't buy, or so
Yeah,
Facebook tells me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that's tough is that like,
Yeah.
oh, you're
Like,
getting
why did they click
click-throughs,
on it
but
then and not
yeah,
buy?
you're getting click-throughs, but you can't get them.
It says shop now, buy now. You get a click, no purchase, abandoned. Why?
So I'm so weird that I always just think that there's like there's a non-insignificant amount of people that just want to fuck with those stats.
No way. No way, man. People on Facebook do not want to leave. They're on there all day. They don't.
Really?
Oh no, yeah, no, I'll agree with that. I think there's something to what you just said there. Absolutely. They're like, it is difficult to cut that cord and to walk away.
And pull out a credit card and spend $50 or 20.
1995. Remember the old Ron Popeil? He always said, it's just like you got to get it to $20. It's got to, now I'm sure it's different, right? Because nothing's $20.
Well, then you can target down to like a very focused demographic. So they say.
Well, I mean, don't you remember? It was always like, it's like, for $20 plus shipping and handling, we'll send you a sham wow. But if you order now, we'll double your order. It's like you get 2 sham wows, but if you order now, you'll get 4 sham wows for $20.
Oh, shit.
Remember that sham wow? That looked like the real deal. I never bought
I
one.
almost bought a slap shop.
Did you?
Slap shop.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not Ron Popeil. That was like a different guy.
That was that guy
I
that
could watch that slap shop all day long.
that was that guy that he had the like, you're gonna love my nuts, and in the thing, and
You're gonna
that,
love my nuts.
and,
Yes.
and that guy, like, if you look, he got into an argument with a prostitute at some hotel, and like she beat the hell out of him or something like that, and he got arrested.
She didn't like his nuts.
What happened to the guy? He was a kind of a brawny guy, blue shirt, OxyClean guy. What happened to that
He
guy?
Really,
died.
blanks?
He died.
He
died.
OD'd.
He
He OD'd?
He
Yeah, it
OD'd
was
on cocaine.
Coke and
yeah.
heroin, I think. Or
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Thanks for bringing it up.
The British guy still, I forget his name. He
The
still
British guy didn't
continued.
have enough.
That was his teammate, wasn't it, for a while? He still continued with
Yeah,
the
they were a
brand.
team, but he was
Yeah.
not.
He wasn't the catch yet.
He wasn't the guy.
So Vince Offer was
Oh, yeah,
your
Vince.
ShamWow guy or Slap Chop. He is 59 years young as of today.
Wasn't he in prison?
Man, I would watch that slap shop. I couldn't turn it off. It would always mesmerize me of like how quickly he chopped
On
up.
February 7th, 2009, Vince Offer and a
Billy Mays.
26-year-old prostitute were both
Got
arrested
arrested,
in
yeah.
Miami Beach, Florida after a physical altercation. The police report stated that the woman had bitten onto Offer's tongue and refused to let go, at which point Offer began beating her and left her with lacerations and fractures. Police later released photos of the bloodied Offer, hotel room, and the battered woman. Prosecutors later declined to file formal charges against either person. When Offer spoke of the rest, he stated, "It probably saved my life."
Billy Mays was OxyClean and Orange Glow.
No.
Nobody cares about Orange Glow, Evan.
Yeah, Evan.
What?
And people would always say Billy Mays yells, and then Billy Mays said, "No, I project."
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays here.
Is that Ronco guy still alive? The one with the
No, Ron Popeil is no
he
longer
died.
with us.
Yeah.
Set it and forget it.
He did the Mr. Microphone
He did the Mr. Microphone.
and
yeah.
the I think the fishing thing too, like a pop-up fisher, like the fishing
Oh yeah, the pocket fisherman.
pocket fisherman.
Oh,
So good.
My dad had one of those. It didn't work for shit.
Nothing worked.
yeah.
Did you ever see the defrosting board? You put like
Fuji hydrator.
no, it was a defroster. It was like
Oh.
a metal plate that they put they hit the steak hard as a rock, and then they put it on there. Like 10 minutes later, it's like completely raw and defrosted.
So they're selling you a warning.
I
tape?
never saw that, but that sounds like wizardry if it worked.
But wait,
I
there's
feel like
more.
it did work a little bit, but there was probably a reason why it worked, or appeared to work. I don't know.
No,
Oh man, mail order.
We never fell for them
the
shenanigans. in my
slap
house.
chop.
We also bought
Slap chop.
when Teflon pans first came out. Do you remember those?
Teflon, yeah. They're killing us all. Yes, I know.
Yeah, probably. So.
Oh no, they are.
I mean, we ate off that shit when we were kids.
They still do. DuPont's getting sued.
I don't use
left
any
and
Teflon.
right.
Oh really?
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really care, but I mean, I don't have any Teflon pans in the house.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's got stainless
Remember,
steel.
it was always. I mean, as a kid, nobody sees commercials anymore because of all the streaming. But I remember as a kid, it was weird, like that Sharpco knives or whatever. And then
Cutco.
it's like, oh, you can.
Did you guys? I have a bonsai knife. Wasn't it called bonsai?
Bonsai? Ginzu.
Ginsu.
Ginzu, yeah.
I have a
I
Ginsu knife.
I remember it was like you'll
find
you'll-
us in our German knives.
the one line in there that I remember they asked him what he meant by
Cut the
that, and they
can.
were just like, well, yeah, he was
Then
like,
it cuts
you
the
can,
tomato.
Yeah.
it said you
Then
can
the
you
boot.
can you can cut your turkey so thin your in-laws will never come back. And I was just like, okay. And I was always like, I remember I asked my dad, I was like, what does that mean? And it's like, well, because you're starving them, you're not giving them enough to eat.
You're
And
not
I was just like, well, wouldn't you just ask for another slice? I mean, wouldn't you just say, like,
You're not getting it, son.
okay, you're like, you cut okay, here's your super thin slice of turkey. Can I have two? Okay, this one's gonna be super thin as well. Can I have three? I mean,
your in-laws will never come back.
yeah, I mean,
Never.
I don't
just-
remember that.
Yeah, no, I remember that was the line. And it's just, and we go back to the tomato.
Oh, you know what I
Yeah.
did buy? And I thought it was quite a good product. It was the pasta machine, the Ron Popeil pasta machine. I used that many times. It worked really well.
Nice.
It would mix first, and then you reverse it, and it would start extruding pasta. It was really good.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean,
How often do you make
that I remember
pasta,
all
Scott?
of the old
I probably made it like, I'm gonna guess like 10 times.
That's worth it.
It's worth it.
I got a bread machine in there for doing the same thing. Yeah.
I never had a bread machine. I don't like homemade bread.
Really?
Ooh, I
Like you
love
try to
homemade
cut
bread.
it squashes down. It doesn't work. I don't know.
so the one
My
the
Ginsu
commercials,
knife wouldn't cut through
Yeah,
it.
you got to
properly.
get the.
You get you know
the commercials I remember are also the ones with like there was all those weird compilations of songs. Like it's freedom
yeah.
rock, and just
Turn it
like,
up. Is that Freedom Rock? Turn it up. We
Oh,
always
turn it up.
sing it all the time.
27 of your favorite classics.
yeah, and it'd be like, it's just like, we'll send you 2 8-tracks, 4 cassettes, or
Yeah.
3
if you
CDs
ask now-
of freedom rock.
I just
feel like
watched
I
a thing
bought
about that.
one of those one time. Was it Freedom Rock?
John Lennon has something to do with
I
the
think
guy
I
who owned all of that.
like K-Tel or something.
Yeah, K-Tel Records. That's what it was. K-Tel Records. No, that's taking me back. Yeah, that was a company, all right.
You guys were ever part of the Columbia House tapes and
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
and then you were
Yeah.
accidentally not return one.
Yeah, no, so it was
Charge
Columbia
you $40.
Oh,
House.
you're the one.
Yeah.
No, so
Well,
there was
you sign up and then you cancel.
I know.
well, yeah,
And
and
you
or
get
else
like a bunch of free junk.
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah.
they
It's not
send
the
you,
real
then they
album.
bill you. They bill you for the things. It was there was Columbia, and then there was another one that was
Something
like
CG, BCG.
Oh,
yeah, because there was the Columbia one, which was we'll give you all of these,
Yeah.
and like
Or a
literally,
penny.
like they had you tape the penny.
The other one.
They place the penny here,
Tape
and
the
you
penny.
tape it onto the postcard or whatever, and you send it to them. And then that was the one where you agree in the next year that you're going to buy at least 2 more
BMG.
BMG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one, the first one we were talking about, you had to buy like 2 records at their normal price, which was always like it was like 18
Rip-off.
bucks a piece or whatever, which is
Yeah.
total ripoff. And they'd send you the postcard that said, "Oh, we're going to send you,
Unless you return the postcard.
unless you return the postcard." And if you forgot to do it, they'd send it to you automatically and they'd bill you for it.
Yeah.
And then so that was the garbage one, but that BMG one, they were legit. Like you paid them $1.99 and you'd get like 12 CDs, and then if you also you could check the little box and you could pay them like a cool $5 and you could like you get like 24 CDs or something stupid. And you didn't have to buy anything again ever. You like the next time they sent you a postcard, you just had to sign the thing, say please cancel my subscription, and send it back, and then they cancel it and you were done. The trick is that you couldn't forget to send back the thing that said cancel it, or else you were
Believe me,
screwed.
I've bought many a CD that way. Back.
So the one thing about is that they what was it? The one thing that my sister tried to sign up for one of those 2 things, and she got a letter saying that we will not allow you to be part of it because of people using your name for like fraudulent purchasing. Because when
My roommate would do a lot of fake names.
so my brother was living at his frat house, my older brother, and so he would fill it out and he'd sign her up, and those things would get delivered to the frat house, and he'd just take all the tapes and stuff like that, and then the other things showed up, he'd just rip them apart and throw it away. Like, nobody here by that name, what are you talking about? And like you can't find anybody. It was just kind of like, and so she couldn't sign up because he had
It besmirched her name.
besmirched her name.
The family name.
Yeah,
Does anybody still listen to vinyl?
Yep,
Some
sure.
people do.
I do.
I mean, in here, I'm just curious.
You guys buy any music at all?
Yeah, I listen to like the
no.
top 40 rock and
You buy it?
just no, Spotify.
Yeah, we have a Sirius, and I listen to Spotify. Jen listens to the Sirius in the car. I do on my phone. So. But I was at the.
I mean, the record industry is demolished.
I was shocked. I was at the Guitar Center to pick up my brother an acoustic, and they had. It wasn't a huge selection, but they did have records. And I was like, I wonder how much they cost. I'm thinking $20-$25 nowadays. They were like $9. They were older titles. Great. It was like Appetite for Destruction, Pink Floyd. There was a couple others, but
I feel like
was-
vinyl is like a hipster thing now.
yeah. I was just shocked they didn't cost that much.
Yeah.
Holy crap, K-Tel is still a thing.
What's K-Tel?
Oh, stuff. never-
K-tel.com is still a thing where you
Can
can.
you sign up and get music?
It says the original compilation company. Is it? You
there
can
it is.
still.
Oh yeah, pure gold. Oh right.
So listen to this. How about this? How about this for a combination? Say, I'm looking. This is straight from Wikipedia, so you know it has to be true. KTEL International Limited is a Canadian company. Where's Matt? Which formerly specialized in selling consumer products through infomercials. It's like let's see, in consumer products, as including the record selector, the Vegematic, the Miracle Brush, and the Feather Touch knife. The company has sold more than 500 million of these units worldwide.
Wow.
It says Philip Kives, the founder, bought and marketed a number of products from Samuel Popale, father of Ronco, founder Ron Popale, including the Dilematic and the Vegematic food slicers and the Feather Touch knife. So before, and then he formed KTEL to basically sell compilation things. And it says here that in the 5 years prior to 1981, KTEL sold more than $150 million of LPs in 34 countries, and the sales increased from 23 million to 178 million in 1971 to 178 million dollars in 1981. Oof. Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
The failure of let's see here. It's like the company had diversified, forming subsidiaries in areas such as real estate and oil exploration, and also acquired rival Candlelight Records in 1980. KTEL lost 15.9 million when Candlelight's customers refused to pay for their shipments. The failure of this and several other high-risk ventures forced the publicly traded U.S. entity KTEL International to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in 1984. Womp womp. But yeah, they're still going strong though. While most of the compilation albums relied on the pop charts of the day, there were some that focused on hits from a certain genre. Examples include 20 Power Hits and Gold Rock. Super Bad is Back, Sold Out. Goofy Greats and Looney Tunes compiled novelty songs in the 1950s and 1960s. Night Moves, a 2-record disco dance tutorial with accompanying instruction book featuring Danny Terrio, including one side of disco songs featured in the lessons. The company also created original records, including the Grammy-nominated Hooked on Classic series of classical recordings with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. I remember the Hooked on Classic albums.
I do that.
I do. They also had several novelty cassette tapes for novelty answering machine recordings. Good stuff. Good for them. And they're still around today. So KTEL Records. I want to know what that BMG music group, if that's still around.
It probably got bought out by a dozen different companies.
Probably.
Does BMG still exist? Though the last of the Titans, BMG was shuttered 12 years ago. Its website somehow remains in suspended animation, where below a choose CDs by the remarkably clear set of terms service set front and center. Columbia House.
Awesome.
BMG. Those good memories, though. Man. And what did BMG stand for?
I don't know.
No idea.
Bertelsmann Music Group.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a division of the German media company.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Bavarian Motor Squares.
The stuff that we went through to get music as kids.
Yeah, these kids don't appreciate how easy it is to get shit these days.
Oh yeah, everything's on YouTube. You want to listen to a song? It's on YouTube. Don't worry about it.
Want to read a book? You don't have to go to a library. Just flip a page.
I'm pretty stunned that I mean obviously city libraries and stuff are funded by the city and stuff, but I'm always also stunned.
I tried to use this streaming thing that uses a library card, but it didn't work. Have you heard about this thing?
No.
I was trying to watch the Burt Reynolds movie that came out a few years back before he
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
And it was on that. I forget what it's called, but like it was asking for my library card, but it didn't work.
Oh, I did not belong to the library down there. I've been meaning to, but I have not. I want to see what it looks like. I haven't been to one in like 30 years. Yeah.
Oh, I went down to it's down the street from me. Canopy with a K.
Okay. So have you gone into this library, Scott?
Yeah.
Well, is it still like magazines there, or is it all?
Oh yeah, there was tons of
computerized?
books. Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff. Lots of stuff. All new stuff, and it was all yeah. If your library is well maintained, you can get a lot of stuff from the library. Tons of books on tape.
Board games. The library's got
I saw any
tons of board games.
Do they?
City board games there, but
Oh,
I didn't
hundreds.
look that close.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get the one around the corner here. I have not. I don't drive during the day much anymore. Yeah. It's about 2 miles out. I ain't walking with the gimp.
I ain't walking.
I ain't walking 2 miles, 4 miles a day to go to read a book. I can do it on the internet. My days of walking that much in the snow are over.
If you have a library card, you can also check stuff out on Amazon. You can get Kindle books.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it'll
So-
check you out. Like you have to finish it within like a certain amount of time, but it gives you a good amount of time to read books.
Yeah.
So my public library, the Moorhead Public Library, I will go there fairly randomly now. I used to go there like when my kids were younger. It was like take the kids there and get them some books to read, or books to read to the kids when they were super young. In the random times when I've gone there, it seems like there are three. When I walk in, there are basically three different types of people. There is people there to use the free internet and use the computers, and and that's what they're there to do. There
And
are people there with kids, like basically letting them, because there's enough, like there's stuff for the kids to do as far as there's computer games and like little computer things, but also like there's a few like interactive things they can do. Or three, it's basically like somebody's in there to read the newspapers. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a ghost town. And it's a good library. I mean, they have, I used to go there all the time when they did their book sale. Once a year they would do a book sale where it was just like, yeah, well, we just need to get rid of a bunch of this stuff. And then they have these rooms downstairs and they just have all the books and they would just sell the books for like, $1. And you could find like, and as long as you were there the first day, it wasn't picked clean of anything good. But yeah. Some of my favorite memories as a kid was going to the library.
Be right back.
Love going to the library.
I used to like it until I moved to Kensington. Yeah. Then my library there was called Needle Park, so you can imagine what happened there.
Yeah.
I used to live in Fairmount by the Free Library, the Central Free Library of Philly. That was a really nice building. Yeah. They do the same thing, have a sale once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But I stopped going after a while. Well, for the Needle Point thing, yeah. But like I said, I would like to get back. I got to figure out how to get there during the day after Jen gets work. Off times.
Yeah, I don't know. I do miss it. I miss it. But it's just, that's another thing. It's just gone. It's just, it's just not part of the world anymore, for lack of a better term. It's just kind of like,
It'll be gone soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
well, I think they'll stick around for longer because they're funded by the city. They're funded by the government.
Yeah, but this generation, like, I prefer a physical book to an iPad or whatever. This generation isn't preferable today. You know, everything's going to be electronic eventually. I think within the next 40, 50 years, you know. So what's the point of having a library if you know, there's nothing to put in it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Why is this camera acting up?
I don't know.
Neither do I. I can't complain though. It's at least 10 years, 15, something like that. 10 years probably. Yeah, but
Are you excited for Gen Con there, Evan?
Heck yeah.
I'm not.
I love that stuff.
Fuck Gen Con.
Come hang out. Jerry says that we're definitely going to get some drinks this time.
Yeah.
Lies. Are you going to get your CD?
Yeah. Am I gonna get my CD now?
I gave it to Shane.
Just look it up on Spotify.
It's too hard.
I don't have a Spotify account.
That's too hard. Kids these days.
Kids these
Loser.
days.
Spotify.
You're going to be doing a Gen Con, Evan. Are you pitching or are you working?
Yeah,
on it?
I'm going to that event that Matt is running, so I'll do some pitching there, a little speed date pitching. I haven't really set anything else up yet, just because I'm just really bad at planning, mostly. But mostly, you know, I just go and hang out and have a good time and play some games. It's kind of like, I don't know. I use it less like a business thing and more like a just like I love.
Are you saying words right now? I mean,
Oh, can you not hear me?
No, I hear you. It's just
Oh.
you're kind of like you're all over the place, kind of way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
I'm all no. I
Metal
just,
Black type thing?
I just go to have a blast, and then kind of business it is secondary. Although I still, of course, like, you know, very much interested in pitching games and getting games signed and all that stuff. But mostly, it's just at this point, you know, it's kind of like a secondary family that you get to go see people and hang out and have a good time.
What he said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For me, it's just stressful. So
It's fair.
I've never had any urge to go to Gen Con ever. I mean, it's just too many people for me.
Gen Con is crazy.
It's,
It's a lot.
and like I said before, now I don't have an urge to go to any other con except for BGG. It's a totally different atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's no drama other than that one time with the whiskey, but we learned. Yeah.
What the what?
The whiskey. Remember what Uvi? The tasting. We kept the pilot up all night. That was the fall.
Oh, the
con.
whiskey tasting.
Yeah, the whiskey. But we
I did
learned.
not go to that thing.
Oh, we know. Everybody but you were there.
I only smelled it after the fact. Although that was the year before. I remember the first year walking by the room and just being hit with this wave of Scotch whiskey, whatever.
Yeah, they were saying.
And then the next year, I think it got a little out of control.
Yeah, but like that's minor drama. You know, it's every other con. There's usually some kind of big drama, and then everybody and their mother wants to report on it to be the first. You know, it's like I said, BGG con is really the only con I really have a bigger con that I have an urge to go to. Yeah, maybe a local one around here.
You don't go to PAX?
What's that, Scott?
You go to PAX? Is this there?
I went to PAX the first year. After that, I thought about it. I actually thought about going last year. The weather affected me though, but
Cool.
it's kind of a pain in the rain. It's kind of a pain in the ass for me. I'm an hour out. I will not go on public transportation for personal reasons because I worked for them. It is kind of a pain in the ass for me. You know, they're charging you $30 to park the car and all that. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, I don't know. The first year, it was their first year too. It wasn't. I was only in there and out for like 4 or 5 hours. I wasn't extremely impressed with it. You know, granted, it was their first year. They were just getting started. You know, yeah.
I
Oh,
met
Max.
the guy who runs PAX.
Did you throw down the gauntlet? What the hell's wrong with you?
No,
Some of
he
it
was
the
very
same
kind.
weeks.
We were talking. It was just, they were, it was fine. He was on the cruise.
Oh,
Oh, did he?
nice.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I used to watch the guy. I forget the name of the show. It was like a YouTube show where he was sitting at a desk, sort of like a David Letterman style desk, and then
Huh.
the guest would be in like a little tiny TV. Do you remember that show? Game All Night, I think it was called. And he would do like he had a bartender. Chris Whitpan is his name, by the way.
Doesn't sound familiar.
And I got to talk to him a little bit on the cruise and stuff, and he was, they're completely different animals, right?
Yeah.
PAX is like a big convention center convention, and we're a hotel game
Yeah.
convention.
Yeah, and PAX was more
Play games.
sort of like the rest of the conventions.
Yeah, it's
more towards
it's like
selling
a
shit.
Gen Con style and lots
Yeah.
of visitors, and certainly a fun time if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah. And they were more geared towards selling shit as opposed to Scott, where it's more playing. Yeah. For the most part. I mean, they have some vendors. But
I mean, I based mine on the Gathering of France.
yeah.
That blew me away back when I first went there in 2000.
2000.
I know, it's like forever ago.
I was never invited. Not that I would go, but I'm just kidding. I don't know if I could do 10 straight days. I mean,
Nobody can.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to show up for the whole thing, right? You can
No, you just have to go for some of it.
Well, how what's the most you feel obligated to go?
Obligated?
Yeah.
None. But I mean, I'd like to go.
No, I mean,
You get a different feel for having a long
long
a week of games.
Yeah, but that's why you got cruises.
Although things have changed, the Europeans don't come. Although this year, I'm trying to remember, they didn't hardly play anything new. It was very odd. It was a different year for sure. It was mostly just talking because I didn't go the year before.
Yeah.
The hospital thing.
Yeah.
And, so it was a lot of catching up and just talking with people, and
That little thing.
we took a day and went to go play pinball, and that was an entire day.
Oh, that's
In
right. I
Buffalo.
remember the photos. Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo. So it was a different convention for sure.
Yeah, that one.
But when I went in 2000, it was like, overload of games, like lots of games.
Was that your first con, Scott, or bigger con?
I would say the first con of mention. I went to
Okay.
OwlCon, which was in Houston. I think it's in Houston. And I was not impressed with that one.
No.
But that was like, I didn't know what to do at a con. Like it didn't
Right.
have any kind of. This is also pre-internet.
Right.
Yeah.
There was no internet websites.
Right.
Very
There
few.
was no BGG con.
So you didn't know how to do a convention if you had
Yeah.
never been to one before. So
Yeah.
I showed up. I didn't bring any games. I'm like, oh, there'll be plenty of games to play, right? It's a game
Yeah.
convention. No, there was no games
Oh,
to
wow.
play. So I bought a copy of Lunch Money first day and played that a shit ton because that was the only game I had. And then I played Illuminati
Oh yeah.
because those were the only games you could buy was Steve Jackson games. Like that was the only board games that I remember. And I wasn't really there for board game, and I was there to support my friend who was playing. It wasn't Games Workshop. It wasn't Warhammer. It was something like that though. Like it used a D10.
What year?
I think it was
2000.
either 1998 or 1999. I think 98.
Was Warhammer? No.
Do you guys remember that? It was like a small number of figures, and it used the D10. It was a system.
I know what it is too. and
Yeah,
can't think of it.
it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember it. He loved it, and I did. I just went because he went, and we went together, and I played.
Illuminati is a classic, man.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
it takes too
Oh,
long.
it's terrible. Yeah, it's way too
It
long.
takes way too long, but I
Way too
I
long.
remember loving it.
I love
I
like
like,
they're
I
that.
like
loving it.
I love the stories it makes, right? Like,
Yeah, they're like, oh,
like Bill and Hillary are controlled by the I don't know, the Russians. or
No,
something.
yeah, I mean just the fact that like the mad scientists control like like mad scientists control the mafia, which in turn controls like the orbital mind control
Yeah,
lasers.
it
you know.
made a good top, like
It was awesome.
yeah, for sure. Like good scenario.
So I'm
Yeah.
curious. My first
What was
con
the name
was
of that game?
very similar to your experience, Scott. Is that how a lot of guys in here was, or?
Me, my first con was to try to pitch games. I didn't know anybody, and I just did a whole bunch of just walking up to booths and being like, "Hey, so doing my
Yeah.
horrible pitch thing."
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was tough. But now now it's like home away from home. I love going to conventions. Like I like the just hang out and play conventions. Like, BGG is probably my favorite. I probably love conventions like the Gather of Friends or whatever. Just ones where you just hang out and hang out.
Yeah, because if I didn't go to Origins, I probably never would have went to another con. Yeah. Just to see that first. I'm wondering how many people go to a shitty con, or not even a shitty con. They just go not knowing what to expect, and it turns them off.
Yeah, I can see it.
What made you go to another con, Scott?
What made me go?
Yeah, what was the
To the
second?
Gathering? I got invited,
That was the second con, the Gathering.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And everybody from Dallas was going, so I'm like, I better go.
Okay.
And it was fun to hang. It was go. I mean, the silly thing is, I was so shy. We just basically played with each other
Yeah.
in Columbus.
Yeah.
Only like the third or fourth year that I break out of that mold and meet other people at the convention.
Mm.
Although, every once in a while I would play a game with someone that I didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's hard for me. It was tough for me. I mean, it wasn't easy.
Dude, that's still hard for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I know I seem gregarious and everything, but that's only with people that I know.
Yeah.
When it's people I don't know, I'm like, they're looking at me.
It doesn't matter who
I'm
it
the
is.
same way.
I'm just it's just my wife just thinks I'm so weird because it doesn't matter who it is. I'm like within
You
3
are.
minutes.
Chronopia. Was it Chronopia?
Chronopia. There
That's
you
the
go.
game. Chronopia.
Small
skirmish.
skirmish battles, yeah.
The D10.
And a fantastic world build they did with that too, the world of Chronopia. And I still have that the Chronopia rule book just because the background of the story and the world. I completely and totally stole that whole Chronopia world and installed it into a D&D game I made. Session I did. What was I saying?
I don't remember that game at all.
I don't know. It was like
It was the alternative to Warhammer. Like we would play Warhammer. I think I said it last time. We would start Warhammer at like 9 a.m. on a Saturday and like not till 9 p.m.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
all day.
One combat.
We would play one massive 3-on-3, 4-on-4,
Yeah.
3,000 to 5,000 points each, which is
dude.
I wish I had photos. Oh my god. And everybody's stuff was painted. It was so great.
That was so much
great
fun.
gaming day. It was a great day of gaming.
Yeah.
And back when I
Yes.
didn't care that much about
Life.
Time.
Right. That it was so much fun to play that game.
I had no relationships and no nothing going on in my life. So I play all day Warhammer.
Right. Mom, I'm gonna be out late.
And we were able to play at the office, like when I worked at Nortel.
Oh, nice.
So we would be able to go in there, get a whole conference room and big tables and push them all together and like so cool. It was good times.
Yeah.
I never have.
That's what I remember. The stupid toads.
Damn toads.
The slan, which
the
Slan. Of course, since it was the newest army at the time, was so massively overpowered because that sells armies.
Yeah.
Powerful armies sell minis.
Yeah.
And we were all like, dwarfs were screwed.
So
the
slow.
dwarfs never got a
so slow.
So slow, underpowered. tough.
It-
But anyway,
Now, and I haven't played Sigmar in a long time, but in the fantasy one, it was if I remember correctly, it was it was actually the Fire Slayers, which was the dwarven they were a dwarven sub faction, were the most powerful for forever until Slaves to Darkness. Right when I was getting out of it, the Slaves to Darkness, which is basically the chaos
Chaos was
faction.
powerful too. We basically sort of banned it.
Yeah, so the Slaves to Darkness was the group that was just coming into like its own in the whole Age of Sigmar, which was Fantasy Warhammer. Right when I got out of it, I had my daughter had the Lizard Men, which went by a different name, that were basically the Slawn, the Lizard Men who rode dinosaurs, and that was her faction. And mine was the Undead, just because
Undead were always underpowered as well.
they were always underpowered. But I love the fact that they were super cheap. So like when I would play, and I of course it was all gray because I hadn't had time to paint it. But I was like, okay, well here's my 90 skeleton spearmen.
I remember playing a game. I ran the Skaven, the rat.
The Skaven are great.
And they had those the Doom wheels.
The
and I had
Doom
one that
wheels,
was
yeah.
fully painted. And I remember playing one time, and I'm like, I don't really know how this works, but let's just see. And I put it out there, and this guy runs across with his general on a dragon, and he got warped and destroyed in a second. And it was like turn one, and I'm like, oh no, what are you gonna do for the rest? I mean, because that was like half his points, right? Like your army's 3,000 points, 1,500 of it was in his general, like a dragon, and the general was on the dragon. And I'm like, oh, and I blocked it. I mean, it was just like a perfect roll, tons of hits, all the wounds hit, dead.
Yep.
He's dead. I'm like, I could see it in his face. It was just
Did
like,
he just concede?
it was just no, because we were playing in a big giant multiplayer war game, and all the rest of his time was just him going, like this little, like trying to maneuver a big block.
Yeah.
Like it just, he never got anything going. But
I remember when they introduced Age of Sigmar skirmish play. My daughter won the Warhammer tournament for it, and I remember like in the final championship game between her and the others, they had to draw randomly what the scenario was, and it just was so unfair to the guy that was playing. He had this really cool like little skirmish, like 9-person undead thing, and they were really powerful. He wiped me out when I played him. I had the Nurgle, the plague bearers, and he wiped me out pretty quickly. But like she had the lizard men riding dinosaurs faction because she likes dinosaurs, and the faction was like one person has the artifact and the other person needs the artifact, and you start with the artifact, and the team that has the artifact has to go from one side of, like, it was a 4x4 table, 4 foot, has to go from one side of the 4-foot table and get to the other side of the 4-foot table and move off of the table. And if they do that, they win. Well, she had pterodactyl riders, which go like 18 inches.
right.
So basically they both rolled a 6-sided die. Whoever rolls the highest gets to decide, do you want to be the team with the artifact, or do you want to be the team with, and she rolls a 6, he rolls a 6. So they reroll again. He rolls a 1, she rolls a 6. She's like, I'll take the artifact.
Of course.
Go. And it was just like, and you have to designate which one has it. And she's like, it's this one. And he like spread his undead team out, and it was just like zip. And
Do you remember?
we're done. And she won the trophy and the whole.
I remember the dwarves had steam copters that were just
they Yeah.
So weak. Like, oh, you're gonna blow steam on me. I'm so scared.
Yeah,
But we
no,
always make fun of the dwarf player.
yeah,
Anyway,
I felt bad for Brady, and I feel, I mean, what's the guy she played? He actually like died like, you know, several years ago. Like he
Mm.
just, yeah, but I remember it was
oh,
just
I
like,
don't
well,
I had the worst cheese. It was a special character in the Skaven army, and he was basically invulnerable. He could
no,
not take a wound. I forget. He had all kinds of crazy saving stuff, and like I literally marched him to the center of the battlefield, and the guys hit me with 2 cannons, three or 4 cannons, not a scratch.
yeah, a lot of those characters just had that.
And then I
Like,
put the heart of
basically,
woe on him, get him right on your general. Boop, heart of woe, dead. You're dead.
yeah, you're thinking about that general dying. I
It
do
was so
remember
much cheese in that game. Like,
we were playing a Blood Bowl league, and I had like a chaos team for my Blood Bowl team. And so my star player was a Minotaur, and then you have linemen, and then like, and that's basically
I
your
never played a proper league of that.
the Blood Bowl, like, so the Blood Bowl chaos team, your whole thing is that you're not fast, but everybody is super strong, and
kill
so
everybody.
you just
Knock everybody
march, you just slowly march down
You
and
just,
just
and you injure every single one of player on
yeah,
there.
yeah, you just smash, and you basically you score a touchdown as fat, like you knock somebody down, you score a touchdown, and you spend the rest of the game not even worrying about the ball. You just sit there and just pound people. That's what they do.
That must have been fun.
But I remember it was like the second turn of the game, and like his star like blitzer guy on like his elf team, and it was like he was just within range. I could do my double blitz with my Minotaur. Zip, zip, roll. It was like, and I got to
You're
roll
down.
higher
You're
than
knocked out.
no,
Oh,
it was
you're
like
injured.
it was like boom, injured, roll again, 12, dead.
Dead.
Yeah, just like, and
What a bad game that was.
here's the star blitzer. Just shove his
That
nose
makes
into
me
his
so
brain.
mad. Do you remember the delays of games? Did you ever play with those rules
Oh yeah, yeah. You
where you
just-
had to like move the timer or
Mhm.
or you'd be like, no, illegal procedure. My turn.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't move the timer, like the slider,
I just remember
they
that,
had
and the
they
guy
had a
was just,
rule that basically said if the other player calls illegal procedure and you didn't if you didn't advance the turn timer, it was their game. It was their turn.
well, and I felt really bad because then we called the guy over, there was the Warhammer guy, and I was like, so what's the rule on dead characters? And he's like, well, you can't use the character anymore. He's like, well, I can have him next match, right? And he's like,
No,
you don't have an undead team. He doesn't come back. You can't use. So like basically his star, it's like he spent all his points
he
on.
probably put all the points on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like he was done. He conceded that game, and then like I think he played like 3 turns of the next game, and then he just left. He was like, well, this is a waste. And I mean, he was laughing about it. I mean, it was just like, oh, he's injured. Okay, is he gonna be injured for the half? No, I rolled a 12. Just he's
It bees like that.
yeah. The Minotaur ripped his head
Dead for
off.
half. No, he's dead.
Just, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't win either. I think that was like either you played 5 games. I think I only won 2 out of my 3. Because there was one Skaven team. God, they're squishy as hell, but they're so fast. It was like just like you can't catch up, and they throw the ball way up in the sky and they catch it, and then you're done. Yeah, I mean, people trash on Games Workshop all the time for their prices and this and anything, but man, they have some solid games, and Blood Bowl is an extremely solid game. However, it desperately needs an updated computer game of it, because the computer game that Blood Bowl has is like it's from like 7-8 years ago, but it's fun to play. And you can play it online with people. Me and Rob Oren used to play it a lot. And it's fun to play, but it's an outdated rule set for one. And it's just easier to set up. You don't have to paint the miniatures. You don't have to do it. You don't have to remember certain rules. You don't have to see, oh, I'm moving from here to here. The computer does everything for you, rolls all the dice for you. I like that. I don't know. Anyway. Well, it's getting late. I suppose. Next week is the Gen Con preview.
How
I'm
many
sure you're all
games?
looking forward to
I
that.
do some homework.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been out, you know, hate to
Unacceptable.
say, but I'm having another bad year. Not a great,
Yeah.
not a good bunch of bullshit. Oh, I had two more. Just a health update. I had two more biopsies, all negative.
That's
Good.
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 Keep my fingers crossed.
Oh, and just so you know, you can Chronopia had a successful Kickstarter. And you can late pledge right now if you want to. So
Not into it. Not into it.
Mm.
By the way, remember those photos I took at the beginning of the year where I had to don?
yeah.
They couldn't access those photos. I'm so
What?
pissed. I'm like, what the fuck?
Lame.
What? It's so annoying. Health industry.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, hey, hang out. I'm gonna tell you guys something after we turn off the cameras.
Oh, secret stuff.
Secret stuff.
Secret time.
It's-
All right. Good night, everybody.
I never